welcome back to the afternoon session. This is day 2. It's the final session for our under-18 and under-20 athletes at the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships of 2022. Of course, tomorrow it is our senior and para-athletes who get the opportunity to showcase their talents. But already we're seeing what a great depth, great potential depth that we've got here in New Zealand Track and Field, because we've had some wonderful performances already and some really nice conditions. I guess the highlight this afternoon is going to be those men's and women's under 18 and under 20 200 metre finals. We've already seen a World Under 20 Championship standard be beaten this morning in the women's sprinting, and that's going to be quite fascinating. Plenty of good field events coming up this afternoon. We are going to have discus, as you can see popping up on the screen there. Good to have the apple press involved as well. I had one of their juices lunchtime as well. It's
they're good. Yes,
they're very good.
There's a few around.
So there you see the field for the under-18 men's discus. Percy Maka, Xavier Sola, Blessing Sifo as well. Those will be probably three of the names you'd expect to see at the pointy end of that particular event. We've also got coming up this afternoon as well. We have got some high jump action, there is long jump action, there's a little bit more pole vault coming in as well. There you see the discus gauge for those under 18 athletes. And we've got some steeplechase action, which will get things underway around about 1:30 on the track. And as I say, the real highlight being the sprint finals. And we've also got finishing up, there'll be a few relays as per normal, but for the main part of our coverage we'll be looking at those 2,000 metre steeplechases for the under-18 men and women, and it'll be 3,000 for the under-20s. Small fields, but some good athletes involved in them. The real standout's going to be that sprinting action, which is what we saw. As you can see now, some of the long jump athletes just working about getting themselves sorted out. That's Colin Monsolo, who we saw competing yesterday, and Colin was really battling a little bit with the ankle injury, but he's back and he's getting ready to have another go. As there we see some of our athletes getting ready for the discus. That's going to be a really good competition. I think we're going to find some pretty impressive throwing from those gentlemen. They're just getting themselves all set up. So it's a lovely afternoon. Again, there's a little bit of cloud around, nothing major, but it's nice and warm. Temperatures maybe probably early 20s. The breeze just picking up a little bit, but as we heard from Terry Lomax yesterday, that historically it does sort of pick up a little bit more in the afternoon. And I know, looking ahead to tomorrow afternoon around about this time, when we get the likes of Zoe Hobbs and Tian and Eddie Osai and Ketia on the track, hopefully the breeze is hopefully it's a good breeze, Hayden Shearman, but we don't want it too strong, just because we do like the idea of possibly sort of records being challenged, and we like that wind to be underneath the +2.
Definitely, we would like a nice 1.9. I can see, as you say, those flags just starting to waft a little bit, but we had just perfect athletics conditions earlier today. It was really wonderful, and takes me back to commentating at the same ground at the Potts Classic in late January to kind of kick off the summer of athletics, and put it out there of how many New Zealand records we'd see broken this summer. We've already seen a whole whack of them, notably by Zoe Hobbs, and so I'm really pumped to see how she goes back on what is probably her favourite track in the world, really.
Wasn't it interesting, though, to see her reaction? I think it was at the Sir Graham Douglas, having obviously run that outstanding New Zealand record the week before at the Hawke's Bay Gisborne National Championships, and then she comes out, and her time again, I think when she was talking with Sarah Cowley-Ross, even she was a little bit surprised that she was still putting in that kind of a time so quickly afterwards.
Yeah, yep, and she's in good form, and it's always a good sign when you hear a sprinter say that they're tired from the race before. Like she said that one week after setting that new New Zealand record. She's a bit tired, so she's surprised with that 11:18 that she did drop. But it's always a good sign because it means that they're learning to recruit, every muscle fibre in their body, which is the art of the sprinter or the power-based athlete, is to really get that central nervous system firing. And when you're still tired from 100 metres a week later, you know that you're in a good state. Your nervous system is really cranking it and making the most of every muscle fibre in your body. So I can't wait to see Zoe. And the other matchup that I'm really looking forward to this weekend is the long-awaited Tian versus Eddie 100-metre battle. So our two leading 100-metre specialists. Eddie's been stuck in Australia, in Canberra, where he lives at the moment. So now borders are finally open, so we got him on the first flight home, and he's going to be taking on the battle of Tian. And look, it's only like 0.01 of a second is separating the two, so it's very, very close between them. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Gus Nikitia's New Zealand 100-metre record get challenged this weekend, either by his son, Eddie, or by Tian Whelpton.
Well, I think what makes it interesting is that they have both been running so well, but the fact that they have been on other sides of the Tasman. Eddie's family obviously resides in Australia, though he is obviously committed to New Zealand in terms of his national representation. But his form has been very good, whereas obviously Tian really has had, I wouldn't say he's had it completely to himself, but it's clear he's been the top dog as we sit here and watch James Hansen of Tasman. Is that under 18 men's discus competition is underway. And so it'll just be interesting because we've already seen examples of what having that competition does for athletes. We saw it today with Penelope Salmon bring through Bella Brown for a really good time in that 1500. So I'm going to be fascinated to see how that all plays out. That'll be one you can just lock that in tomorrow afternoon. And of course, Zoe Hobbs, who really has been the star of the show with her sprinting. And what has she got? Because I'm sure, she's putting up, these world championship times, but she just wants to keep doing it because every single time like that, Hayden, doesn't it? It just reinforces in the selectors' minds. If they have any doubt, they kind of sit there and it's like, well, she's done that. Well, she's done this and this and this again. The more evidence you provide, the more compelling case for those selectors to go tick.
Absolutely. And look, it's hard to do these performances, particularly for an event like the sprints in New Zealand. The number of times Zoe has broken the resident record, which is the fastest by a Kiwi in New Zealand, is, I don't know, we've lost count of the number of times. But it demonstrates just how it's very rare to get the stars aligning in New Zealand of having good competition, good warm weather, legal winds, and favourable conditions on the track. Whereas you go to Europe, you go to the States, you go to the Diamond League, typically they'll run in good conditions and big stadiums with lots of competition. So that's where you'd expect someone like Zoe to actually lift up another gear. So it's almost like domestically she's potentially sitting in like a 4.5 gear. Get her overseas, and we'll certainly see how close she can get to 11 seconds. And could we? Don't want to put too much pressure on her, but the rate she's going and the improvement, and I feel the room that she's got to keep improving, could she get close to that magic 11-second barrier? That would be wonderful.
Well, I'm sure that we can talk about the outward expectation. I would suspect that the internal expectations we see. Percy Maka, launch one. Have some of that. Hoi! Yeah, that's a great first up throw.
Percy's one of the, he's the top ranked in this field with a personal best this year of 54.53. So he is looking in good shape today and throwing into that gentle breeze, which is probably pretty good. This is a good win for the discus throwers.
I wonder, though, whether that was a foul throw. We saw the end result, but it didn't look like they measured that one, so I'm wondering maybe if a foot has just slid outside. There we see the entry list for the women's high jump.
Yeah, 4 key names to keep on an eye out for that women's high jump. Jessica Hendren, she's got a PB of 177, so the only of those girls to crack that 1.7 mark.
You see, first athletes just sort of going through, getting their warm-ups done and complete. In fact, I think we're not too far from getting underway. That's Georgiana Absalom of Manawatu Wanganui on your screen just there. As we cut back to Connor Brown. And the red flag goes up again as you just saw him outside the circle. A little bit frustrated, so no need for the measurement. You see the high jumpers, and it's
starting
Georgiana
at
just
1.43. We're into the third round, so early stages still in this competition. So often at this stage we have the multi-eventers will sort of kick off the high jump, and then as we get into the later stages we'll see the real specialists come to the fore.
We see that's a Blessing Siffel just moving out of the discus circle. There's Blessing with the cap on. He's got to throw sort of around that mid-40s mark. There's Georgiana Absalom wearing the colours of Manawatu Wanganui. Just waiting to step in. James Hansen of Tasman. So we'll get our first event on the track this afternoon. That's down for 1:30. And that is the 2,000 metres steeplechase. There's Hansen. That's that. It's going to be over the 30-metre mark. Comfortably so. So as we say, Percy Mucker. That's a very nice clearance to begin the competition. That looked like it was Riley Quill.
Yeah, who I assume is the sister of Rafe Quio, who we saw feature in the high jump yesterday. He took home the bronze, I believe, or was it the silver? Let me double check. I've got the results right in front of me, actually.
Oh, you know,
shouldn't be putting you on the spot like that. It was the silver.
It was, and it was. I guess it was because, as we see, Lily Bing get underway. I think it's probably because we were so, and I think with some justification as well. So enjoying the jumping of Adam Stack yesterday. Clearing two for the first time, and then actually going and tacking another couple on. I think it was 6 centimetres in total. He added to a previous personal best of 1.99 metre, and really pumped up. Looked great, making everyone knew exactly who he was representing, pumping out the Canterbury singlet.
And the high jump is just such a wonderful event when you see people popping out PBs at the pointy end of the season where it really counts. And it's always the hive of activity. If we had a crowd right now, if they were allowed in the gates, they weren't sitting in their cars at the moment as a lot of the parents and coaches and support team are tuned into the live stream just over the back of the hedge from Mitre 10 Sports Park here. We'd have a big old crowd supporting these, and the discus you can see on screen is the same end of the ground. So it's the hive of activity for this stage in the afternoon as we kick into things back from lunch.
Nice. That's very nice there from Harrison Mcgregor. Legal throw as well. You're right with regards to that. I mean, we saw it again this morning. Ethan Bone out of Canterbury as well, clearing 2 metres for the first time. So, I see there's a nice clearance. The Otago athletes competing there. That'll be Kyra McNeil. And these names sort of popping up. Of course, there is going to be the heptathlon and decathlon for the senior athletes over the course of Saturday and Sunday. And it's great to have the combined eventers competing. Yeah, just stand and deliver.
Yeah, love that.
From Percy Mucker.
And that's a great example of just learning that final stage of the delivery. So obviously with the discus you usually do the 1.5 spins across the circle. But of course the most important part of that is that final attack of the discus, using your legs and then driving that power from your legs up through your torso and off with the arm. So that's usually how a thrower will learn, and it'll be interesting to see later on the competition if he goes back to the full rotation.
Well, I mean, that first one with the full rotation was massive. It was a big throw, but just to say, lost that balance, went out, fouled off, got the red flag. Here comes Xavier Sola, that wonderful throwing family. So he's got good control there, and that's around that mid-30s range. Well, Xavier, there's the white flag. Yes, everyone's happy with that. And we'll just keep an eye on the distance for you there.
So that's Mia Diego, or Diego. I'm not too sure of the pronunciation. Diego. Just opening up her campaign successfully.
Xavier with a 36.15.
So, yeah, Mia's definitely one of the ones to keep an eye on for that competition in the women's high jump.
Connor Brown sliding into the circle, has a wee look. One outside the arc, sadly, outside. There we go, there's a clearance by Riley Quill. She's off and running. Different athlete, that's Amber Troe out of Manawatu Wanganui.
Yeah, there's a real, I've sensed this season a real sense of excitement around the high jump, and that directly is coming from Hamish Kerr's influence. I've met at least one athlete who has picked up the high jump since watching Hamish compete in Tokyo. So it really goes to show when you get the black singlet out there competing on the world stage, it does translate to youngsters taking it up, as we see Lily coming in. Now she's better known as a pole vaulter, but also applying her craft to the backwards vertical jump. Obviously the pole vault, you're sending your feet over first and you're facing the bar. This one you're going the opposite way, head over, and then you're facing the opposite direction. So big difference in technique, but cool to see her really add that to her arsenal. And as a young athlete still, that's going to improve her athleticism. And regardless which way she goes, pole vault or high jump, having that versatility will help as we kick off the men's long jump.
Yeah, this is Colin Cashmore-Sole out of Hawke's Bay, Gisborne. And we saw Colin yesterday competing in the triple jump, and he was really battling. You'll notice he's got quite significant strapping there on that right leg, and you could see it really impinge him as he was trying to go through the three movements of the triple jump. Today, he kept gutting it out, though. He kept coming back. We were thinking, we're not going to see him again, but he kept lining up and he kept charging on in. And today, obviously, with just the one movement in the long jump, he is going to be involved. And here we see Quinn Hartley. Yes. Southland.
So some key names coming back from the high jump to the horizontal. So Quinn's one of those. What did he get? Did he get third in the high jump yesterday? I believe he did. Yep, he got third in the high jump. So he's backing up today in the long jump. We'll also have Angus Liver, who we've seen compete in multiple events already this weekend, and our main man from yesterday, Adam Stack. So that's going to be very cool to see.
See them all starting out. This is the first round of action. Wander over. And he's not going to move in a... Come down for another one of the medal ceremonies. We've got... that breeze is what I'm really interested in as well, and actually just watching as they come back over. There's Kieran Sinclair Lomax. Kieran, as they come over the top, that's a nice wee jump there. And you see Kieran Sinclair Lomax.
So these jumpers will be going into that slight wind that you talk about. And we just get some debris blowing across you. Sorry about that, Nigel.
More accurately, debris coming out of Hayden Sherman's backpack.
Yeah. As I reach for my jumper, because it is starting to just chill off a little bit here in the shade. It'll be nice and warm in the sun, but we'll just see how this unfolds. That sea breeze just starting to kick in from the nor'east. So
just give you an update with regards. Harrison Mcgregor currently leading in the under 18 men's discus with a throw of 49.58. Blessing Siffel is in second spot. There we go, 46.4. Percy Marker 43.77. But you saw Percy literally just sort of standing and throwing. His first throw, which had the traditional rotations, as we see Angus Liver get underway in the long jump. His first throw was big, but he just couldn't maintain himself into the throwing circle. And I do just wonder if he's able to get the balance required on the three rotation delivery of the discus. I'll be very fascinated to see just how far he can send that particular implement.
All right, this is Ryan Young from Otago, waking up those hammies, waking up those quads, telling them, I want some speed, I want some power. You can see the wind just on the sock there, so that'll just be slowing them down a little, but I would be surprised if it was above a metre per second. Headwind, crouches down low, gets up to speed, pumps those arms, and first jump of the weekend in the long jump is done and gets the white flag.
Extension through there. They have all the wonderful formalities, so there they go as they get things set with the tape measure and blocking off the runway. There's Connor Brown. Connor's yet to get a mark, but he will have one now. He will have a distance after that. The white flag goes up. They're happy with it. It's a good throw. Mid-30s.
Here's Lily in the high jump, coming in from that left side, which means she's taking off from her right foot and just missing that one on that occasion.
Connor Brown 38.16. Here's my man Jackie Dye out of Wanganui Collegiate. It's not his preferred event, Jackie, more of a triple jumper, but he said, I'm here, I'm going to give it a crack. Good extension there. It's a nice jump to start. So, lovely having a chat with him yesterday, and had for me the comment, he's overstepped slightly. Had for me the comment of the day, it was kind of like, he'd won bronze. I said, congratulations. We'd been chatting prior to. I said, congratulations. Pretty chuffed. And he goes, mate, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
And and we've been talking about it a bit, and it's just the sentiment of these younger athletes who have had those events cancelled. I thought that was really cool. I thought that really summed it up quite nicely from Jackie.
And look, this is especially important for these high school athletes. They lost the New Zealand Secondary Schools champs last year. The under-18s weren't able to come to these national champs this time last year due to, I think we're in level 3 or level 2 at that time. So, yeah, great to have this happening, and the team at Athletics New Zealand have done a wonderful job, and the local organising committee. There's so many I's that need to be dotted and T's crossed to make this event happen. So well done to everyone who's pulled this off. And I agree with those athletes. It's good to be here. It's good to be back.
Here's Adam Stack on the back of jumping high. Now he wants to jump long.
He's out into the mid-sixes. So he's got a best of 666. The mark of the beast, 666. So we'll see if he gets close to that. He was certainly in the mid-sixes. Good clearance there from our Auckland athlete.
There's Kuyo again. Waiting for the distance to hopefully come up for Adam Stack. It looked like a very good distance. It's a nice clearance. Some nice work coming there from Amber Troe. Lily Bing. Missing again. There's Colin Monsolo again.
We'll try and get an update on the height that bar is at as we head back to one of our local athletes in the long jump with Colin Cashmore Sol. There we go, 158 on the bar. And shaves it, it wobbles, and it stays on. I think I saw a good sigh of relief, and that foot just plants over the edge of the circle.
Yeah, that's...
So Quinn Hartley up from the deep south. Got that bronze in the high jump. Let's see if he can go a little bit better in the long jump today. He's certainly one of the favourites, one of the handful of athletes that I've put a little mark next to on my notes.
Here is Blessing Sefo. And can't maintain. It was another really good throw as well. He does have a mark of 46.4 as we just saw Quinn. So we'll just lose shape a little bit there upon as he was getting ready to land.
Oh, that might be it for Lily, unfortunately.
Yeah, just walking off straight to the tent. Disappointment for Lily Bing, but as you point out, more of a pole vaulter. Well, here's the man who's leading at the moment. This is Harrison Mcgregor. Very deliberate. Oh, again,
yeah, just losing
out.
Balance again.
That's another shame because that one there I think would have been probably past the 50-metre mark. Karen Sinclair Lomax. So McGregor maintains his top spot at the moment.
So yeah, if you've just tuned in, ladies and gentlemen, we're focusing on the field events with the under-20 men's long jump. We've got the women's under-18 high jump that you can see on screen with the bar up into the 160s now. So this is getting a bit serious for that competition. And also the men's under-18 discus, throwing that 1.5 kg discus.
Connor Brown, he did a best so far of 38.16. Yes, we see Olivia Power of Auckland with that attempt.
Yes.
Xavier Sola there just getting ready. Now stepping in is Antoine Smile. Antoine so far 32.93 his best. One clips the side. So red flag goes up.
Oh, good first up clearance there.
Jessica Hendren, the athlete who Hayden Shearman was talking about earlier.
Yeah, so she's the only athlete with a 1.7 something PB. So she opens up at 1.62, goes clear. Starts her weekend off well.
Xavier Sola. One there. Xavier again, it's around that 40. Wait for that one to come through. So we're just working through a few technical things at the moment as well. So there we go. We've got our technician working at the same time. He thinks he's got it sorted for us. He's doing a great job for us, Craig.
Yeah, with so many events all happening at the same time, it is one of those logistical challenges of getting the information back to where it needs to be. And it doesn't go only to us. It's also got to go to the results desk, obviously, and the stadium announcers. And there's a whole bunch of officials that need to sign things off and make sure it's all done properly so that records might stand and qualifying marks might count. So, yeah, it's definitely a challenge of logistics and information comms around here. But we're getting it sorted. We're getting lots of good info coming through.
It's Naomi Waite out of Wellington. So basically I think it's about 6 computers connecting into one computer. You're able to toggle in between the different events when it comes to the field.
Percy Marker here winding up this time with a full delivery, and out goes the foot, but it looked like it was a decent throw, but of course it doesn't count if that foot goes over the edge. And so a few of our athletes just finding their rhythm in the earlier stages.
Yes, and I'm stacked with that familiar start that we saw yesterday in the high jump. Great speed, great elevation. That's a really good distance.
Gets the white flag too. Up it goes. So I'd love to see a replay of that jump. It was a good first counting jump. I believe his earlier jump didn't count from memory. Here we go. So gets up to speed early, puts the head down, gets up to speed, and there you can see just a little sink of the body, 2 steps out from the board, and then into that launch. And speaking of launch, that one just aborted at the last minute.
It was 6:32, by the way, Fred. I'm just stacking. That was 6:32. He's your leader in the under-18 discus. And it's Harrison Mcgregor. Again, can he maintain his balance? No, he can't. Well, all these leading athletes with Mcgregor and Sefo and Mucker, they're all threatening 50. Just got to stay inside the confines of the throwing circle.
Yes.
That's nice. That's Olivia Power. A little, just allows herself the merest of grins, having cleared that height.
And are we still at 162? We'll try and get an update on that.
Here is Connor Brown, currently sitting in 4th. He stayed inside. Ooh, he might not be 4th for much longer. That looks like it's over the 40-metre mark. He needs 43.77 to get past Percy Mucker. Riley Quill. There you go, 162 is the mark there.
Bad attempt on that one. I think she'll take a bit of encouragement from that. Back to Quinn Hartley. That nice hang technique through the air. Obviously used to going vertical, so making the most of that and really propelling the hips forward through the air and making sure that he gets as much reach as possible.
Tell you that Connor Brown has moved into 30. He's moved past Percy Mucker with that last throw. Wait for Hartley. See if that time will come up, and that's 6 meters. Just getting.
Yeah.
It's 6 meters point something. The screen has just been adjusted, so not sure what the 0.0 is.
6.0 something, so there we go. All right, so here's the starters for the 2,000 metre steeplechase under-18 final. We've got Ian Pugh, Louis Andre, Lucas Huia, Lorcan Rabbit, Afika Kottison, James McLee from Southland. So 6 athletes will take part in this 2,000 metre steeples. Of course, it's the long-distance version of hurdling. As we see this attempt, and oh look, she's got acres to spare.
Let me wait.
So she's one of the names that we haven't mentioned, but I'm going to put a little circle next to her name because that looked like she had a good 10 centimetres in her.
So here we see Angus Liver again.
Yeah, so he's your only 7 metre jumper in this group, so expect him to be the one that everyone's chasing. I wonder if we can stay on him to see what he can put out there. Just takes a little feel for the wind, opens up the hands, does the necessary adjustments to his run up now, gets up to his speed and runs through that one. I believe he did that earlier as well. So just maybe not quite adjusting properly to what that mild wind is doing. Maybe the adrenaline's getting him too fast up to the board. But anyway, we kick off with the 2,000 metre steeples. So for the junior grades, for the under 18s, they will be doing 2,000 metres, whereas the under 20s and senior do the traditional 3,000 metres. So you can see there we've got 5 barriers to jump on the track, and one of those is a water jump. So And these barriers do not move. So you need to have good hurdling technique, but it really comes down to who's got that strength to combine with the hurdling technique. Over those last laps, it can get very, very challenging indeed to get over these barriers. Back to the long jump.
It's Ryan Young, currently sitting in third spot. So now just lope their way through. So 2 kilometres for our under-18 athletes. You see at the front it's James McClay. Also got there Rabbit. Ian Pugh out of Waikato Bay of Plenty is Louis Andrus. In fact, it's Louis Andrus that's just moving forward. And at the back there is Lucas Hoya, also running out of the Southland Province.
And this is one of those events where typically in a middle distance event, there's a lot of tactics involved of using more energy if you're at the front and conserving energy if you're back in the pack. But in the steeples, just having that free runway in front of you can be a big advantage, not having to chop your stride. So often you'll see the more favoured athletes go straight to the front and really control the race up front.
Yes, Harrison Mcgregor. It looks like he's been moved down to second there. Can he maintain? No, he can't. Yes. He clipped the side anyway, which would have been a bit disappointing for Harrison. As they come through, we've got 3 laps to go. Take another flight of... So Blessing Sefel now has the advantage in the men's discus with a throw of 50.5 metres. Then it's Harrison Mcgregor. Again, 50.5. And I'm sorry I can't give you the exact number here, but something is again just been flicked on our screen, so now we're only getting to see 1 digit as opposed to both digits. So at the moment it's Sefel, Mcgregor, Brown, Mucker, Sawyer, Hansen, Smile. That's 1 through 7. As we go back to the a little bit of a chuckle there for Ian Pugh. Got himself a little bit more water than what he was planning. Came out and gave it a little bit of a wave, had a laugh at himself, and he's still running in full spot. Thank you very much to Chris here, who's managed to sort that little issue out. So Blessing Sefel leading with 50.57. Harrison Mcgregor, 49.58. Connor Brown, 53 metres, 82 centimetres. And Percy Mucker, who for me feels as though that was the biggest thrower there. 43.77, but just could not stay inside the circle. And I think he'll be a bit disappointed, Percy, to be sitting outside there.
So 4 athletes in the steeples just pulling away, led there by Louis Andre, who's been doing a good job just controlling the race up the front. And so we've got from Hawke's Bay Gisborne just right on his tail, Lorcan Rabbit, who is looking good. And I've got to say the Hawke's Bay Gisborne athletes have been really performing well. We saw that big victory from Carson Vesty in the 1500 men's under 20. And there's a real sense of excitement amongst the locals.
Why wouldn't you? You get to train in great weather at a great facility like this one. Unsurprising at all that they're performing, really, isn't it?
And some really interesting tactics there. We saw a big move from Lorcan just coming up on the inside and really pushing the tempo now. So that group of 4 has split up. We've got Louis Andre, who's been leading the whole way. Just, wow, look at that. We've got about 40 metres opened up already. So really showing a good clean pair of heels now. Is this going too soon? We'll have to wait.
I think there was a bit of confusion. I think they were trying to actually get the marker down to signify 1 lap.
Yeah, the bell should have gone.
I think we are on the final lap, so yeah, it is
finally,
gone now.
Finally, we've found the bell, so the bell is ringing, so this should be good comfort to Lorcan that he hasn't gone too early.
In defence of our wonderful volunteer down there, the thing got absolutely snagged. I can understand why, so I think we can cut him a little bit of slack. They're pretty darn good at what they do.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will be yelling out 1 lap to go as well. So here they come. That's the last attack of the water jump. Can we see a resurgence from Louis Andre, sitting in that second position at the moment? But here we go. It's another local boy, Lorcan Rabit. He's staring down the barrel of a national title here in the under-18s 2,000 metre steeples.
And he's just going to canter to the line. And another title to a local athlete. Sure, that will mean a lot to him. He's a great scrap for bronze to the line.
Eyes on the screen.
Well done. That's excellent work. That's McLeay just edging out Ian Pugh. And then we will just sit and we will wait for our other 2 athletes to come through. There, centre of your screen.
Great racing in that 2,000 metre steeples. Wonderful to see a big kick with 550 metres to go, just open that field of 4 boys right up and then pulled away for the win on home turf.
Here's Jessica Hendren continuing. That's the under-18 women's high jump. Also got underway at the moment the under-20 men's long jump.
As we see Lucas Hewitt come through and Afika Cortison. It's always a good feeling to finish a steeples. I've only finished one of these things, but I can tell you it felt good to finish it.
I was going to say, you finished one. How many have you tried?
Well, I have only tried
the one. Is that more than one? Right, okay, right. So that's good. You're 100% if we're looking for the positives.
Yeah, that's true. And the other complicating factor with the one that I finished was off the back of running a 1500 earlier that night. So it was a painful old 3K, and definitely you'd get to the top of each of those water jumps standing there with both feet on the bar, wondering why on earth this sport was invented. And the fact that we've got some bodies lying on the track still is testament to how tough and grueling this event is.
So there you go. There you see the confirmation there. Lorcan Rabit of Hawke's Bay, Gisborne, the national champion. There's a really nice clearance. And
good claim too.
Maya DeYaga really likes that one. Nice.
Only 14 years of age. It's amazing to be jumping that well. So 169 is her best, and we've got an update on where that bar's been sitting. I've been a bit distracted by the steeples.
It's understandable. Also got Colin Monsolo again.
One of the best mullets in the weekend so far. Maybe we need to hand out some sort of award for that. And maybe the moustache of the weekend.
You're not going to beat my boy Lucas Lambert, a.k.a. Mudflap. He had the most rocking the most majestic mullet at the high jump earlier this morning. He right now, in terms of the mullet stakes, he is Zoe Hobbs. He is absolutely Zoe Hobbs and has just cleared out.
I do like Colin's. You know, he's got the dyed tips, whether they're sort of sun-bleached or whether he's actually gone to the barbers or he'd have to go to a hairdresser for that, wouldn't he?
Very Filau Whakatawa. Filau Whakatawa likes the old frosted tips. He had what was referred to, I think I heard someone refer to it as the mince and cheese pie going on last year. There's Quinn Hartley.
Business at the back, mince and cheese pie.
That's looking pretty good. Just trying to get some of these updates coming through. Here's Amber Trow again over at the high jump, taking that one down. As it is, they're just slowly just whittling away. There's Naomi Waite working her way through.
So we'll try and get an update on where that bar is sitting. 166 was it? So this is certainly getting up to the capacity or the personal best of a lot of these ladies. So we're getting into that business end. Yeah, 166.
As well, that last jump, by the way, for Quinn Hartley. That was a 6 metres 33, and Quinn's currently sitting in the bronze medal position. We see one of our Otago athletes.
And that's an interesting battle to see Quinn Hartley and Adam Stack, the 2 high jumpers, coming over to the long jump and trying to get bragging rights today after they battled it out in that that high jump competition yesterday.
Well, it's interesting because, I mean, one of the things that stood out, there's another really good clearance, again, by Olivia Power. The thing that really stood out with both Quinn and with Adam, who's on the runway as well, by the way, at the long jump right now, it's the way they really attack the bar in the high jump, and it's that same mentality that they're using with regards to the long jump. You'll see the acceleration, the way they really aggressively attack and try and power off that board.
As we go back to the high jump with that bar at 166. And unfortunately for Amber, that will be another miss. So here we are with Adam Stack settling himself. You can see that windsock in the background just starting to pick up that sea breeze after being perfectly still this morning, is starting to become a factor. These guys heading into that breeze. So he'll be looking to leave as little distance out on the runway as possible, hit that board and get a good mark on the board. We've seen him run through a couple of earlier jumps, so he'll be pretty hungry for a good one. Oh, that was a good attempt, just those hips not arching up enough.
Here's Stack, great extension again.
Gives it the clap.
Yeah,
was it a clap of frustration?
Yeah, I don't think it was convinced that I don't think he was convinced that it was as good as what he would have liked it to have been.
So he'll get a measurement nonetheless.
The great thing with Adam Stack is, doesn't mind, doesn't hold back the emotions, very expressive, very exuberant athlete. Still waiting.
So were we right that he's got no mark on the board?
No, he has got a mark. He has got a mark on the board at the moment. So just working through just a wee glitch in the system at the moment. Adam was sitting in second spot. Quinn was in third. This man on your screen is live, the leader at the moment, as we understand, of the under-20 men's long jump.
He'll be starting in lane 5 for the final of the 200 metres shortly as well. So that's coming up at 2:25. So he's got a busy old afternoon ahead of him. He'll want to get some good marks out there early in this competition so that he can go and freshen up a little to take on what's going to be a fantastic under-20s 200 metre final. I'm just looking at that start list. Next to Angus will be Zachary Saunders. On the outside of him, Lex Revel Lewis, Oliver Krynen, all of our top junior sprinters. And here we go.
That's sending it. That's sending it nicely.
Getting those wings out into that hang technique. Reaching out for the sand. And looks like it could be heading towards that 7 metre mark.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, that's been fouled. So no need to bust out the tape measure for that one there.
So up next on the track will be the women's under-20 steeplechase. And in that event, we just have the 2 runners.
It'll be Siobhan Ball of Auckland and Gemma Antonazi. Wakazo Bay of Plenty. There's Jackie Dye waiting. In fact, just walking past us right now. The 2 athletes will compete as we watch Jackie out of Manawatu Wanganui. The long jump, bronze medalist in the triple jump yesterday. Extension there, that should, oh no, overstepped. There's Jackie.
Yeah, and this is where these athletes who have done their practice jumps earlier in slightly lighter wind conditions, just needing to adjust things and tweak things, and you can see just those run-ups being slightly affected. As we go back to this high jump competition, and a good attempt, but maybe just needing a little bit more of an arch there to get over that bar, make sure the hips don't bring it down.
She's over having a chat with coach. What do you think? What did you see?
But at 169, have we got a idea of who's left in the, I don't know if on your little computer doodacky there you can see who's left in the competition.
Let's see what is going on with regard. It's not actually up as one of our events that we are following at the moment. So Kieran Sinclair Lomax, Diaga, 14 years of age, competing in an under 18s.
Yeah, this would equal her personal best, so she's right up there.
Kieran Sinclair Lomax just jumped 5 metres 59. We come back to Olivia Power.
And the great thing about this stage of the competition is we can start talking about what members of the commentary team they'll be able to jump at some stage. I'm first off the ranks, by the way. So once we start getting up to 178, then we'll see if they can jump a Hayden Sherman. You're doing pretty well.
We just saw Colin Cashmore Soul, who in terms of just out and out effort has really put it out there today. You can just see he was battling a little bit again with that right ankle, but great commitment. Here's Hendren.
Yes, Hendren.
Wow.
Yes.
That's nice.
That's great. And you could see she's got a little bit of room to spare under that, so she had the height, got that technique right, gave a little shake of the head, knowing that I could do that. And that's a high five, and that could be a congratulations, you just won yourself a national title high five. As we switch back. Oh, just dropping that one down. So Maya Diega bows out of the competition at 166, I think will be her clearance height.
166. Just remember, folks, that young lady you saw on your screen, just 14 years of age and already jumping 1.66 meters. Here's Quinn Hartley, currently sitting third in the men's long jump under 20s.
Let's see if that gets the white flag. Yes. That was a long pause there from our official, just making sure he walks out of the sand pit cleanly. As we look at the start list for the women's 3,000 metre steeples under 20. So, of course, these ladies doing the 3K. We've got Siobhan Bale and Jemima Antoniazzi lining up in this one. I'm going to just pop through and check who won this event from last year. I have a feeling it was Jemima.
I think you'll find you were correct there. Here we go back to Olivia Power. Oi! Oh, it's on over at the high jump. Power clears.
Game on.
I think Hendren, by way of probably, that's a good jump, Ryan Young. Hendren maybe, I think, with the advantage based on what we've seen in terms of a countback, should it come to that there. You like to see those heads-up battles, that's for sure.
Adam Stack back on the runway as the bar and the high jump moves up into 172. We're into the real business end of this women's under 18 high jump competition.
Ryan Young, 6 metres 32, 6 metres 32 centimetres for Ryan, maintains 4th position at the moment. Rankings, he is Adam Stack. As I say, he shows you what he's thinking, how he's feeling, how he's trying to attack. There's Angus Liver in behind him in the green. Jackie Dye just wandering down to the Manawatu Wanganui teammates. Stack, you'll see him lean back. Boom, and I'm away. Head down. Great power on the runway.
Oh, this looks like it's out close to that 7 metre mark.
Currently sitting actually in the 3rd spot at the moment is Adam. So we come back to Olivia Power. Looks like she'll have the first opportunity at 1.72 meters. Wait for that distance for Adam Stack to come through for you.
So she's posted a PB in that previous round, clearing 169. So she's in the form of her life here, and perfect timing because this is the chance to claim a national title. So we're down to the top 2, aren't we, in the high jump?
Well, that's how I'm reading it here. And across, and we've got 6.48 for Adam there, so 6 metres 48 centimetres for Adam Stack, and that has him maintaining in 3rd spot There's our two athletes. Oh, Hendren clears first. And again, with regards to that count-back system as our athletes are underway. We've now got Angus Liver preparing as we see our two athletes. You'll see Angus in the background. There he is.
So Siobhan Bale of Auckland leading things out at the moment from Jemima Antoniazzi as we head back to the men's long jump competition. Good from Angus.
I think he's overstepped though. The head's gone back. That's why.
He's having a bit of a frustrating afternoon in that long jump. Just things not quite clicking, so overstepping on that occasion. But you saw how probably was slightly beyond that 7 metre mark. As they go over the water jump for the first time, they'll be jumping that 7 times today. Will it be 6 times with the running on the outside of the track?
So what does it feel like in terms of, because obviously, I mean, a lot of us, as we see Power just have another wee miscue there. I mean, we've all stepped in the puddle, and the runners, feet soaked, your socks just drenched and that sort of thing. Is it similar as we watch Jackie Dye on the runway again, or is it the shoes made of those sort of materials that you don't really sort of feel it too bad when your feet go in, if you can think back to your one steeplechasing experience?
My vast experience in the steeplechase. To be honest, I don't really remember it. You just wear, if you're going to wear the socks, some just lightweight socks, they're very breathable shoes, so it usually comes out pretty quick.
So
the great thing is...
pretty negligible is what you're saying. It doesn't really impact you at all.
Yeah, absolutely. You're really more worried about the weight of these barriers. If you've ever YouTubed steeplechase failures or steeplechase fails, you'll see how grim it can get. The barriers don't move, and that really is the big challenge with this. And when you get up onto that water jump, it is daunting. So for new, especially juniors, it takes a while to get used to. Here we come to that water jump. It gets used to that feel of there's a swimming pool in the way, and you do need to maintain that speed, and you'll land in shallower water. So you'll see those who have practiced the technique will hit 1 foot on the barrier and then carry on, use that momentum and plant 1 foot in the water.
I think our athletes just showed a really good example there, because we saw Siobhan sort of really launch herself off the top, and we really only just sort of maybe see the bottom of her shoe disappear, whereas with Jemima, we basically saw the water go up pretty much around sort of mid-calf height. So an indication there as to just the depth. I think we saw it too when Ian Pugh just about put his entire body in it in one of the first or second times round in the men's event. Power.
Right. So she'll have one more attempt, I believe. Oh, no, that's it.
That's it.
So
that's it.
She bows out of the competition. She'll take home silver. And Jessica Hendren will be our national champion, and I wonder if she's going to carry on, make the most of these relatively still warm conditions. It's
Colin Cashmore with a no jump over there in the long jump. I think we were in our final round over there as well. It's Nazi. Bale clearing comfortably as they head away to the aforementioned water jump once again, and I think we are done and dusted over there at the women's high jump. Jessica Hendren of Canterbury clearing 1.72 m. Let's wait and see. They are still moving around. No, it does look as though they're going to push there. There we go, 1.76 m.
Good to see. That's exciting. As we see Siobhan maybe just opening up a little gap. It's always hard to tell, and this is where those athletes who've got a little bit more experience in the hurdling technique might just open up a metre or two every steeple they encounter, every barrier they encounter.
Well, this is the last round jump for Quinn Hartley, who's currently in second. I'm reading that. Looking at the signs, we've got a little bit of computer stuff coming in over here. I'm trying to look over the top of my glasses over to the far side. I'm pretty sure I saw round 6. They take it simultaneously there in the Steeple Chase. So glad you're with us on Sky Sport Next alongside Hayden Sherman. My name is Nigel Yolden. More of a field focus this afternoon, but right in the heart of it, you're going to see 4 outstanding 200 metre races. Quinn Hartley, 6 metres 67.
Oh.
And to the lead.
Wow.
Ryan Young.
So Jemima Antianazzi has overcome her fall at the water jump last lap, and she's taken the lead again.
So Young, did he like that one?
So slight change there in the Steeples lead as they're really running together, and this is cool to see. That it's good to have some company in a challenging race like this. And as we go back to Jess Hendren, she had the bars at 176, and she said, I want to carry on and make the most of my fitness. It's the peak end of the season, so why not?
So, oh, I thought she had it, and I think she looks back like, oh, yeah.
So that's 1 centimetre shy of her PB, so it's getting right up there, and we're getting up to the Hayden Sherman heights.
Well, that there was a really good attempt. Really, it would have been just the merest shaving of a body part that sort of dislodged that bar. Antianazzi.
So they're going to come up and have 3 laps to go, so we're approaching the 1K to go mark, which is always a good mark to hit in any distance event. Just that psychological benefit of knowing you've just got 1K to go. And back to that long jump. Adam Stack, full of energy on the runway.
White flag. That's a legal jump.
Now the angle that we're filming from, I don't know, it's sort of exaggerating things. As we see, Jemima has really put in a surge and pulled away from, you can see the difference in the cadence there of the two athletes, and Jemima has sensed, okay, I've got about 1K to go and it's time to pull away.
6.64, 6 metres 64 from Adam Stack. That's into second.
Oh, this is wonderful. And I wonder if we're going to see a response from Quinn. So Quinn's at 6.67.
You see that they were competing yesterday in the high jump. Now they're competing in the long jump. Here comes Hendren.
Yes, not as close on that occasion. Previously just knocked it off with her feet, but that was more of the torso taking that one down as we see Jemima coming around the bend. She's going to have this view 2 more times. Yeah, she's got 2 more laps to go.
Hendren just heading to the top of her mark at the high jump. Angus Liver is on the runway right now for the long jump. That's been a good competition.
Oh, yes. Yes.
White flag. White flag. That's a legal jump, and that looked like a good jump from Angus.
And I could see a bit of a sigh of relief for finally get a white flag, and it looked like he hit the board well on that one.
You see what I suspect are going to be your medalists. He was third, but that looks significant from Angus Liver.
7.10.
Yeah, it was.
7.10.
7 metres 10.
Just when he needed it. Popped it out. Let's have a look at this technique. Gets down low, gets up to speed, now has a look at his target. And look at that, nice and upright on the board. Uses that horizontal momentum that he's built up. Sends himself into the sky. And into a national title for that young man. So that's the under-20s long jump. It is round 6, isn't it? I'm not hyping things up.
Well, that's the other thing. What you've seen, if you've seen guys deliver, again, with the absolute championship on the line. So we'd seen Angus really getting out in distance, but he'd always been overstepping. He'd been getting the red flags, and now you've got one chance, one opportunity. We could quote the whole Eminem song if you really want us to, but we're not going to. And he just goes bang and drops 7.10 on them. That's really good stuff. And again, it comes back to that real mental fortitude, that resilience that we've been seeing from a lot of our athletes.
And only 8 centimetres off his PB into a light headwind. That's good going in round 6. So.
And good confidence ahead of the 200 final, Savo, as well.
Absolutely.
Nice,
yeah, he'll go and get a little refresher as we see Jess on her last attempt at 176. Takes it down with the feet. She's a bit gutted with that, but she won't be gutted with the fact that she's got a gold medal to take home in the women's under-18 high jump. On screen, you can see Jemima Antianazzi on the last lap. finally she will have a sniff of the finish line. 300 metres left to run, and we can tell you there's about an 80-metre lead back to Siobhan Bale, who's sitting in second place. So these two athletes in the midday sun here in the Hawke's Bay doing what is potentially the most grueling event ever invented on the track, and 2 more hurdles to go, one of them including a water barrier. Let's keep on her and see how she tackles, 3 barriers to go I should say, see how she tackles this final water jump.
Well, she had a wee bit of a tumble, bit of a stumble, a couple of times over it.
Yeah,
but as she looks back, she's got 75 metres at the moment on Siobhan, who's back in second spot.
Expected it to a comfortable 2-foot landing here. Just make sure of it. Dips in the water one last time, and there she'll look up and just say, there's one barrier between me and a national title. Here she comes round the corner onto the home straight.
It's nice and relaxed. It's been a well-paced run by Jemima. Last barrier to clear. Does so comfortably. Good technique as well. Now she'll stride out to the line and enjoy the moment, knowing she's about to become the 3,000 metre under-20 women's national champion. The time around that 11:42 mark. Just waiting now for Siobhan to finish. There she comes. She's also had just a nice steady sort of a run, but just you saw Jemima just up the tempo ever so slightly.
So yeah, these two runners, they're going a tick under 4 minutes per K. So, you head down to your local park run and run that sort of speed, and you're going to be winning the race. And these ladies are doing it over big old solid barriers and water jumps. And so really, really classy performance, grueling event, and great to see that camaraderie and that satisfaction of finally getting to the finish line.
Jemima obviously just with a little bit more breath in her body, having had the little bit of extra rest. She had a bit of a line there for them. We're going to take a short break. Still to come, 200 metres finals. We've got some shot put action as well. You're watching day 2 of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships live on Sky Sport Next.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams. Our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
Today, we are reinventing insurance. It's a game changer. Real-time intuition, light-speed empathy, a real heart and voice. It doesn't just understand what you're saying, it can feel it. Say hello to an actual human being.
Hi there.
Come on, let's go.
Stubborn gut? Life's easier when you feel in control.
Let's go, Flo.
Flo is made with kiwi fruit extract zyactinase and has prebiotics, fibre and enzymes to naturally support bowel health. And now there's Flo for kids.
You see the starting blocks round at the 200 metre mark. We have got some high quality fields coming up in the final of both the men's and women's under 18 and under 20 200 metres. It's women's final of the under 20s due to get us underway at 2:15, and then they'll be going in 10-minute intervals. And you see confirmation of that final result in the 3,000 metres under 20 women's steeplechase. Addis, I should say, with the victory. And Siobhan Bale.
and
claiming silver.
Interesting to see at the bottom of that graphic the wind reading. Of course, we don't need the wind reading for the distance events, but 0.1 tailwind, 0.9 tailwind, which is perfect for these sprinters. They will be loving the fact that they'll come off that bend and just have that gentle puff of 1 metre per second behind them, blowing them home. So expect some fast times, and we've got some really quality athletes lining up in these 200s. I'm pumped. I'm very excited. I will not be on the seat that I'm in about 10 minutes' time once we kick into those.
Well, what was most impressive this morning was it's KL Colette running an under-20s qualifying standard. So the qualifying standard for the 200 metres, 24.40, and it was a 24.27. So another under-20s athlete, adding her name to the ever-growing list of those who have achieved a World Championship qualification entry standard. We do have to say it is only an entry standard. It is not a guarantee of selection.
And that's, under 20, so was that the junior world champs? Well, it's the under 20s is how we're calling it these days. We've had in the past, it's either the youth world champs or the juniors. It's now just referred to as the under 20s and the under 18s. So really cool. And those Colette sisters are just so exciting to see them come on the scene. They kind of swap each race. One will take the lead, the other one next week. And so it's cool to see the twins just going head to head from Palmy.
We were having a bit of a joke yesterday as I think it might have been Alu got the better in the 100 heats, but then it was Adira, I think, who got the silver in the 100. So we were sort of joking about maybe saying, well, you won that one, but you don't win medals in the morning, that sort of a thing. So to see some of our athletes just sitting and relaxing, and there we just can see them just really enjoying, chatting away. It's a lovely day here, and this will be nice conditions for the sprinters. And there's some real quality as well. There's Adam Stack. He's
shaking their head.
Just seems like just strikes as a really good, expressive, fun person to be around. Him and his mate Quinn Hartley there from down Southland.
Yeah, great to see these under 20 athletes competing both the vertical and the horizontal jumps, really building their athleticism. And as the years go on, they'll decide which one they're going to focus on and hone in on. But it certainly pays dividends to be good at both at a young age.
Well, as we start looking ahead, the first final that we will be seeing is going to be that women's under-20s 200 final. And that's got, again, talent laid through there with the likes of Mia Powell, Mario Veneta, Nadia Evans, that Auckland trio.
Yeah, good to see Nadia back. So she was making a lot of noise a couple of years ago. She ran some very quick 100-metre times, and good to see her back in the mix. I'm unsure where she's been the last couple of years. May have been out with some injury, but really cool to see her back climbing up those ranks and looking in good form. She's great to watch. She's one of those runners who runs with her mouth closed and just looks like she's just chilling out. She could be doing yoga. There you can see her on screen. Number 149 there wearing the blue of Auckland. And those three Auckland girls, Nadia, Marielle and Mia, will certainly be the ones to watch. But just some great athletes. Yeah. And, I think all of these girls we've seen in multiple events over the last couple of days. So
it'll be interesting to see.
Stay glued to the screens, everyone.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of people thinking, okay, it's an Auckland trifecta. I wouldn't sort of just dismiss the likes of a Hayley Bond, sort of out of hand there. As you see them starting to stride down, so you see them in their order. Timeout, sponsoring the 200 metres here at the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field. Let's have a look at that field. There you see it. Kiana Pohi. Run out of lane number 1. Waikato Bar Plenty teammate Sarah Hewlett, lane 2. And then the three Aucklanders, Nadia Evans, Mario Veneta and Mia Powell. Hayley Bond of Tasman and two Cantabrians in lanes 7 and 8. That is Julia Burnham and Jessica Vogel. It's a high-quality field. And as I say, the first of what we expect to be 4 very good 200 metres finals presented by the team at timeout.
So remind us again what that qualification standard or mark is for the under-20s World Champs, which is in August this year
So
over in
that's
South America.
24.40.
Right.
24.40.
And if you're going to do it this season, now's the time to do it. We've got perfect conditions, just a gentle tailwind, and I'm sure a lot of these girls are thinking, that's the way I'd like my year to run, to put a mark on the board and really send a message to the selectors that, hey, take me to South America in August. I'm good to go.
I don't know, you may be watching this particular broadcast and you're saying, well, hang on, you were talking about this KL Colette. She's not in this race. You're right. She's not in this race. She's in the under-18 race. But she did still break the under-20 qualification mark. So, and it's a really...
And that shows the depth, particularly of women sprinting at the moment. It's just so good to see. We've got this great crop of women in the early 20s, led, of course, by Zoe Hobbs. But the next group coming through is really... they're running in their footsteps, and we've got a whole bunch of these girls now running in the sub-12 zone for 100 metres. And once you get there, then you're within cooey of the Livy Wilsons and Anna Percy's, and they're within cooey of Zoe Hobbs. So you can see that trickle-down effect, the way that the class of Zoe and her colleagues influences these young ladies.
We've got these great potential right the way through. I don't think we're deep, but I think the potential for depth, we're standing, just sort of teetering on the precipice. And eventually, I think it's all just going to drop, and there's going to be that little trickle is going to become a waterfall as you see them making their adjustments. It's Jess Vogel in the foreground. It's getting her advertising, just a little bit of a revision coming up here. And it does look as though that revision just confirming that it doesn't look like Kiana Pohi. Well, we did sort of see Kiana. I think she was the athlete who stumbled at the end of the heat and did appear to be favouring an ankle. So I wonder whether that there may just be an injury issue there, which is forcing that young lady out of that particular race, which is a shame for Kiana, who's another outstanding young talent.
And it looks like I haven't seen Jess Vogel there unless she... she's wandering down the track.
Yeah, no, she just made the adjustment to her starting blocks there, and I'm actually wondering whether she may have either sort of moved away there, but she was in the foreground. Just going for a little bit of a wander. You'll see her actually just come back in the shot. There she is. G'day, Jess. She's in the outside lane. So lane 1 is vacant. No Kiana Pohi, so her teammate Sarah Hewitt has the inside in lane number 2. Nadia Evans of Auckland, lane number 3. Maria Vanetta, lane number 4. Mia Powell, who's another one of these athletes who set those standards. That was in the 400. And we've got Hayley Bond, Julia Burnham and Jess Vogel outside.
Yeah, Mia ran that great 400 metres in December, just chasing a flying Porsche Bing around the one lapper, and really stamped her mark back in December as one of the leading longer sprinters, speed endurance athletes, you might call them. So definitely eyes on lane 5, but she's going to have her work cut out for her because this is a quality under-20s 200 metre field.
Well, it's interesting too, Steve Landels, who's given us some great notes from Athletics New Zealand. We look at how Amelia Fairclough, Lex Revel-Lewis and Mia Powell, all coached out there in West Auckland by Nuri Greenhalgh, and Nuri only started coaching 3 years ago. So we talk about some of the wonderful athletic talent. That's great coaching coming through in just a 3-year period. So we will be looking, as I say, that Auckland trio in lanes 3, 4 and 5. Hayley Bond of Tasman is in 6. Burnham 7, Vogel in 8. Hewlett starting on the inside lane 2. 1 is vacant. And they're away. And it's a good, even start, but a very good pass by Vanetta. trying to get on the inside of Powell. Powell very long striding. He'll pace her 200 really well. This is reasonably even as they come in, but it is Mario Veneta who's going to lead them. Then it's Evan. Then it's Powell. Veneta's got a good start at the moment. Now Powell starts to up, but Veneta's got a great lead, and they're not going to catch you. Mario Veneta, she is your national champion. Powell has come through for second. And I'm wondering whether Evans got up to make it a 1-2-3. Bond was finishing hard, but
I believe
dominant.
I believe it was a Auckland trifecta there with Marielle Veneta just clear out from the start. Got a great start, great bend, and just really held on to that. Now, good closing speed by Mia Powell as well, showing that 400-metre strength. Nadia Evans, cool as you like, comes through for a silver medal. Good to see her back on the national stage.
Time of 24.51, so just 0.1 of a second outside that World Championship qualifier. But if you have a look at that wind speed, plus 2.7, helping. But Veneta, your national champion for under 20s over 200 metres. Mia Powell takes silver. Nadia Evans the bronze. 1-2-3 again for the Aucklanders. There we see the field for the women's hammer. Scarlett Kirby, Anya Dunlop Brown, Naomi and Elizabeth Hewitt.
So Elizabeth Hewitt, our highest ranked of those athletes, coming in with a PB, only athlete to break that 50 metre mark with a 52.73. Other ones to keep an eye out for Mill and Name from Auckland and Anya Dunlop Brown. They're getting close to that 50 metre mark.
You see Anya Dunlop Brown ready to go, throwing with the 4 kilogram implement. Also not too far away, we've got men's shot put starting out. It's wonderful throwing cages that they have here at either end of the Hawke's Bay Sports Park. This is, say, Anya Dunlop Brown in the Wellington colours. And that'll be nice. It's out of the cage, down the left-hand side of the sector.
Good way to start off the day in the hammer throw circle.
It's always what you want to know. Talking with Julia Ratcliffe, you don't want to sort of leave yourself work to do.
And it's close out to that 40 metre mark, so it probably won't count towards the scores at the end of the day, but good way to start. Get a mark on the board early.
38.10. Very good start for Anya Dunlop Brown, and as Hayden Shearman alludes to, they have got a counter in the column, and that's what they're very much looking for. Here we see Elizabeth Hewitt coming off a second in the discus silver earlier today. As I say, still to come, we've got more finals of the 200 metres with the shot put.
So
there's some pole vault action as well.
So Elizabeth is your reigning national champ. So in this competition last year, she threw a 52.73, and that's her personal best. So she obviously likes this ground, likes this throwing circle. Let's have a look at this technique as she winds up with those preliminary rotations, and good control. Wonderful control across the circle and getting that sort of effortless release.
Bounces that one straight down the middle of the arc, and it's over 40 metres. Then you see confirmation of the final of the women's under 2200 metres. Maria Veneta of Auckland, 24.51. Mia Powell of Auckland, 24.95. And Nadia Evans of Auckland making it a trifecta, 25.11.
So their 4x1, 4x4 team is certainly one to look out for. And
Scarlett Kirby, by the way, just on your screen there.
So we've got these 4 athletes in the hammer, so we'll be jumping back to them regularly, and a good way to keep track on on things, and you just pointed out Elizabeth Hewitt with a 45.63 opener, which moves her immediately up into first place. Anya Dunlop-Brown sitting in second with a 38.10. Scarlett Kirby in third with a 28.26. And here we have the men's under 20 200 metre final. Look at the start list.
Woo! Have some.
Phew.
Campbell, Middleton, Crinan, Revel Lewis, Liver on the back of winning the long jump, Saunders looking to do the double, Wells and Moore.
Yeah, this is epic. I'm very excited. Look at so great to see all these athletes. Angus Liver, he was just over to the left of your screen doing the high jump. Now he's into the 200 metres. I remember last year we had that great moment where Shay Veach won the long jump and then just moments later went and claimed the senior men's 100 metre title. And so could we see another similar scene where the long jumper switches over to the track and dominates the track runners?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I think Zach Saunders will have a wee bit to say about that. Because if there's one thing that people winning the 100 metres like to do, they love to back it up and get the 200. That's some serious bragging rights. Saunders is going to be running out of lane number 6. Campbell, bronze medalist in the 100 from lane 1. Troy Middleton is in lane number 2. Oliver Crinan, number 5. And sorry, in lane number 3, I should say. Lex Revel Lewis, lane number 4. Angus Liver, lane 5. Zach Saunders in lane number 6. John Wells of Canterbury in 7. And Hamish Moore of Otago outside in lane number 8.
And this is Anya Dunlop-Brown, currently sitting in second place with that 38.10 for the first round throw.
Yeah, there was a late scratching too with the arm of Auckland, unfortunately not competing. So there again.
So just the 3. So we've sorted out our medalists. Now to sort out the order.
Let's see what Anya coming across, but a stern look on her face. No, she's overly pleased with that one. It was 38.10 to start. As we wait for that mark to come up. Continue. Oh, she's added another 35 centimetres, so 38.45 for Anya. As here comes Elizabeth Hewitt, started off with a very nice throw over 48 metres.
So she's the only 50-metre thrower in this competition. Did her personal best a year ago to this weekend at the National Champs, claiming the under-20s title. So she'd certainly love to think that she can give that mark a nudge. So can she edge up back into that 50-metre zone and maybe challenge her personal best?
Well, she's been given all clear to enter into the cage, and she's doing so now. So it was a nice steady throw to get her underway. And she'll know that she's, at the moment, 10 metres ahead of her nearest competitor. And so if she really wants to start just trying to talk things up a little bit more, she's in a position to do so. It's a kind of line drive. Similar sort of range to her opening throw. Expect that to be in that sort of 47, 48 range. You see the cones there.
I really love the control that she demonstrates across the circle. You know, Terry Lomax often talks about the battle with the hammer throw is avoiding the hammer sort of throwing you across the circle and just being able to control that momentum. When you've got a ball on the end of a string, it can really throw you around. So lovely to see that fluid motion across the circle.
46.89 for Elizabeth Hewitt. So her first throw will still be the counter from her point of view. There you see your under 20 men's 200 metre finalists.
This is a big one, ladies and gentlemen. If you know someone who should be watching this, hit that share link on your screens right now, because this is going to be an electric 200 metres on the track.
Campbell 1, Middleton 2, Crinan 3, Revel Lewis 4, Liver 5, Saunders 6, Wells 7, Moore 8. Good start. Really good start actually from everybody. Mac Crinan actually probably had his best start so far. And Oliver Crinan going very nicely there. Liver, but it's Saunders. Saunders leads them in. Liver trying to challenge them down. Both looking for a double. Saunders, Liver to the line. The dip, I think it's Saunders. Zach Saunders. What a run.
Wow, great run there from Zach. I think he got the better of the start. It was very even, but coming off the bend, sort of midway through the bend, we'll get a good view of this. So watch the lane 6. So watch this start. Pretty even at the start, but watch this bend from Zach as he gets up to speed. You can see him just pulling up on the shoulder of John Wells, but going with him, of course, was Angus Liver, and having that energy back from the long jump. Wonderful strength to see a long jumper really run so well on the straight of a 200. You can see those big legs really moving from Angus, and it got very close on the line. Are we getting results coming through now?
Those are good. They're really good times, and it is a shame that the wind is over 2 metres per second at 2.4 metres per second, because Zach Saunders, he's run 21.31, qualifying for the under-20 mark, 21.4. He and Angus Live are both underneath, but because of that wind speed, it sadly will not count. But there you see confirmation. Zach Saunders of Auckland, gold. Angus Liver, really giving it to him. And a great silver medal to go with his gold, won in the long jump nearly an hour ago. And then Oliver Crinan taking the bronze medal in a good battle with Lex Revel Lewis. But what a good race.
Interesting with Lex Revel Lewis. He got 4th in the 100 metres yesterday, 4th in the 200 today. I believe he's lining up in the 400. He'll be hoping that he can improve on that. Won't go one better, or will it be a weekend of 4th?
Well, that's the event, obviously, that he's laid the under-20 world qualifying mark down in. So, but that's nice running, good race, as we see our two athletes from the under-20 women's 3,000 steeplechase. So just confirming, Saunders, Liver, Crinan, 1, 2, 3 in the men's under-20. And we've still now got the under-18 event, which is not too far away. We will just take a short break, though, here on Sky Sports coverage. This is the afternoon session, day 2, Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championship.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams, our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
Today, we are reinventing insurance. It's a game changer. Real-time intuition, light-speed empathy, a real heart and voice. It doesn't just understand what you're saying, it can feel it. Say hello to an actual human being.
Hi there.
Come on. Let's go.
Stubborn gut? Life's easier when you feel in control.
Let's go, Flo.
Flo is made with kiwi fruit extract zyactinase and has prebiotics, fibre and enzymes to naturally support bowel health. And now there's Flo for kids.
Where's Tommy Taponi at the moment?
He's racing seniors.
Yeah. Okay.
So
there we are. We see the under-18 sprinters heading around to the 200-metre mark. The big friends Timeout sponsoring these events, and I tell you what, they're getting great value for their sponsorship dollar, that is for sure. There you see the field. Maddie Kelso-Heap out of Auckland, Getty of Auckland, Wellington I should say, Tika Randall, one of two Waikato Bay of Plenty athletes, the Collette sisters in 4 and 5. KL having completed a World Cup or a World Championship qualifying standard this morning, which he ran a very impressive 24.27. Amelia Fairclough, lane number 6. Mia Diego, so having just competed in the high jump, over to compete in the 200. And then Michaela Fitty will be on the outside. So here is, trying to bring that down is Anya Dunlop-Brown. Great to hear Murray McKinnon on the PA there, just giving an update as to what's happening at the cricket. New Zealand having won the toss, of course, opening day of the Women's Cricket World Cup. New Zealand taking on the West Indies at Bay Oval. There is Dunlop-Brown. Bit of control, drives that one down. Oh, just outside the sector. There you see the arm going out. A no ball in cricket, if you want to continue with that comparison there. We see.
Or is it more of a wide?
Well, I would have thought this one there just, or more maybe golf.
Far out,
golf, you've gone OB that far. Either way, it wasn't in the sector for
You would
Anya.
want to be calling 4 when there's a hammer going out of the sector.
Wow.
That's for sure.
There you see the two sisters there wearing the colours of Manawatu Wanganui. Adira and KL.
So Elizabeth Hewitt on screen. She's your reigning under-20 national champ, looking to reclaim her crown, and at the moment doing pretty well at that. She's got that 46.89, which puts her in the lead by, it's almost 10 metres ahead of Anya Dunlop-Brown in second and 38.45. And we go another 10 metres back to Scarlett Kirby.
Also just starting up as well with the shot put. That's the men's under 20 shot put as well. Not too far away from launching into life. In fact, we are actually underway. There you see Hewitt, Anya Dunlop-Brown, and Kirby, Scarlett Kirby. So here comes Hewitt. I like the deliberateness.
Just winding up for that release.
That's a good one.
Nice and controlled. You saw, and we've been seeing this all afternoon long with Elizabeth, the way that she starts off slow but controlled, and then just on that last rotation really whipped through, and you could see the momentum and speed on that release. And this looks like it's
That'll be north
certainly
of
close to 50.
I think it'll be north of 50. I'm willing to stick my neck out, short neck that it is. I'm going to throw and say that one is 50. 51 metres, 28 centimetres.
There we go. So getting back to the form that gave her the national title this time last year, and putting a big old distance back to Anya Dunlop-Brown in second place with 38 metres. So here we go. This is the under 18 woman in the 200-metre final.
Let's just run through this again from the inside. You see her bouncing down, up and down on lane number 1. That's Maddie Kelso-Heap. Here is Liam Inchok-Wolf. He is not in the 200 metres final. I'm sure Liam could probably bustle around in 200 in reasonable time. He's a fine young athlete, this man again. Another one of these versatile throwers that we have.
Yeah, so won the hammer throw yesterday ahead of Max Abbott with that 57 metres. But here we go, kicking off the shot put. And I had a chat to him earlier today, and he's sort of debating where he's going to focus as we see him wind up across the circle. Good release.
That's a nice starter.
And he's starting to favour the shot put, but still undecided. He's hung up the discus shoes and decided, no, I'm not going to carry on with discus. So at the moment it's hammer and shot, but unfortunately that gets the red flag. But attention now to the 200s.
So it's Kelso-Heap in 1, Getty in 2, Randall 3, Adira Collette in 4, KL Colette in 5. Fairclough 6. Diaga 7. Fitty in 8. Really good start by Fairclough. Great start by KL Colette alongside her. Adira, though, running a really nice bend as they come in and hit the home straight. The sisters just about side by side. Fairclough in the mix as well. KL Colette, she's got the break now, though. It's going to be a 1-2 for the Colette sisters by the looks down to the line. Gold, silver.
Wonderful. Great to see the twins in action and round that bend. And so you called it well. Amelia Fairclough had the better of the first 50 metres, got away to a good start, started pulling away from the pack, and I wonder if that really helped to pull Kael along, and inside of her, Adira. So there you can see the blue of Emily Fairclough just pulling away, and they're just coming off that bend so strong, getting into her work now that she's on the straight. Kael gets up to speed, spies the finish line, and there's no chasing her from there on. So the twins, who have had such a great season, will head home gold and silver in the 200 metre under 18s.
We're just waiting for the times to come up.
And the wind reading, of course.
Yeah, that will be another thing too. But again, the time, as we saw them flash past, 24.11.
Oh.
A 24.11. Now, I really want to see what the wind reading is, because that's rapid. It's even quicker than what she had this morning. And that was it was within the 2 metres per second legal limit behind her. We sit and we continue to wait. I just really want to see what that particular wind speed is.
Yes, we see
24.11.
Hewitt back.
Here we go. Oh, hello. It's within 1.7. 24.11. And her sister, Adira, just 1/100th of a second outside that standard.
Painfully close. You want to send the whole family, right? So,
wow.
Fantastic there from Keel. 24.11. Just when we needed it, the wind came right.
And just to back it up, that was the same wind reading this morning when she ran 27.27. So she's gone another 16th.
Yeah, 24.27. Yeah.
Yeah, 24.27, excuse me. Yeah. So again, she's taken, 1/10 off that. Wow.
Yeah, great running. And it's been cool. Every summer we see a whole bunch of new young athletes appear on the national stage, and it's so good to see these two sisters training together out of Palmerston North really enter into the national stage and post some marks that hopefully will be sending at least one of them to the world stage.
Well, as I say, she hasn't just run the qualifying standard once, she's run it twice. She's done it on the same day as well. So 24.27 this morning, now a 24.11 in winning the 200 metres final of the under-18 level. And that's the other thing too. It's an under-20 standard being run by a young lady who is competing in under-18s.
So Hannah Nell on screen from...
No,
Cooper
McDougall.
So we've got 6 competitors in this under-20 shot put. Liam Nutchok-Wolf, reigning champion, just in the background there, putting the chalk on.
Cooper preferring the glide technique. You'll see Liam when he gets into the circle, using the spin. I was interested to hear you saying might have put away the discus. Quite happy to go hammer and shot put.
Yeah, and he's coming into that age now where he's using the senior implements more and more, entering those senior ranks, and it's certainly the time where you need to make those decisions around what you're going to focus on going forward.
You see Liam, who had the no throw to begin, so at the moment sits behind the man who you just saw, very deliberate as he enters the ring. Always had the old headband on. He's got great speed and he stays in. And that there will take the lead. Oh!
Gets the red flag again.
I'm interested.
What just happened here? This almost looks like a Tom Walsh Tokyo Olympics scenario. Was the foot just spinning out and touching that stop board?
Let's just have a wee look at this.
So you can hit the board, but you can't step on it. Now, the heel.
Yeah.
The heel. So just touching it. So he's going to have to make some minor tweaks to this. And this is, doing these sorts of competitions domestically is when you want to iron out these little wrinkles that might appear in competition. So just that heel rising up onto the stop board.
And you've got to say as well, that's really good officiating. Right on the piece there. Remember, they don't have the advantage we do of getting a second look at it. So Liam will just need to just take a moment. As here we see.
Yes, that's 2 red flags for Liam, isn't it? So he's going to have to. Well, there's less than 8 competitors, so he will stay in the competition right through to the end. But he will want to make sure that doesn't happen again.
And you see the field on the screen for the men's under 18 200 metres final. Ben Lambert, Ethan Langaduli, Asher Pinnacle Brand, Ryan Shotter, Rylan Nom, Liam McKellar and Ben Ward. And I tell you what, the Hawke's Bay Gisborne pair, they'd be quite happy to do a little bit of a 1-2 here. I'm sure, though, the likes of Asher Pinnacle Brand, who's already had a pretty good championships over the last day and a bit, he'd love to finish off with a little bit of gold hanging around the neck. As we
watch Elizabeth winding up, just losing it a little bit at the end, but it's still a good throw. That looks like it might be out close to the 50-metre mark. We're on a difficult angle from where we are. I'll give myself all the excuses in the world.
Well, I mean, it is always hard. I mean, when you're watching some of these, the big events, Olympics and all that, they've got the graphics and they're able to sort of simulate the arcs and you can get a real good feeling of where it is. In this situation, you've got to try and figure out, right, if that arcs its way around to the other side, is that in and around the 50 mark? 51.82.
So Max Abbott, probably better known as a discus thrower, but like Liam, specialises across the 3 throws, 3 rotational throws, I should say.
So he's just sitting waiting at the moment as there's just a slight delay. He's now ready to go as Max. The best throw to this point of 12.33. Back a little bit there, though. Should be an improvement.
The sector does
stay inside the sector.
So to give you an idea of the sort of distances these boys will be wanting to chase, Liam's personal best is 17.56 with this particular implement, and I'll quickly look up the national record because our junior records in the shot put are, let's say, pretty world class. Jack O'Gill was on absolute tear as a junior, set the New Zealand record at 23 metres .00. So that was when he was lighting up the world of shot put as a junior, and as he continues now to play a hugely important role in global senior shot putting.
We see back to the 200 metres. So just confirming. That field for you on the inside, wearing the Wellington colours, that's Ben Lambert. Lane number 3, Ethan Langatule. Asher Pinnacle Brand wearing the colours of Canterbury, the only Canterburyan in this field. Ryan Shotter, Rylan Noom of Hawke's Bay Gisborne, there in lanes 5 and 6. Then you got Liam McKellar and Ben Ward. Liam in lane 7, Ben Warner the outside, lane 8.
So Ryan Shotter coming back from winning the 100 metres yesterday in a time of 10.95, and it was pretty close with Ben Lambert just 0.03 of a second behind, and then just another 0.2 back to Asher, who's starting in lane 4 wearing the Canterbury colours. So certainly eyes on lane 5 with Ryan Shotter, and just inside of him, Asher. And then can Ben Lambert get another medal as well? He'll be running in lane 2 wearing the yellow of Wellington.
And they're away. It's a good even start, and the start is key for Lambert because he was pretty strong in the back half of that 100 metres, but right at the moment it is Shotter who's got the advantage. Pinnacle Brand, though, right alongside him. Asher Pinnacle Brand to the front. Shotter. Here comes Nom down the outside, trying to cut him down. They're going to need the camera for this one. Oi! I think it's Canterbury on the inside. I think Asher Pinnacle Brand has just got it from Ryland Nom and Ryan Shotter, but we're going to need the camera to figure that one out, Hayden Sherman.
Tell you what, the Hawke's Bay Gisborne athletes are making the guest athletes work hard for their medals today, because look at this start. It was really Ryan Shotter's bend coming off. He's the Hawke's Bay Gisborne getting away to a really good start. Now you're thinking the Canterbury singlet of Asher Pinnacle Brand just coming up on the inside, but Ryland Noom had something to say about it as well, just storming home in that last 100. I feel like Pinnacle Brand got the dip on it, and you've just pointed to the results. Asher Pinnacle Brand is your national under-18 200-metre champion, 22.33, beating Ryland Noom in a time of 22.37. And then in third place, Ben Ward just got over Ryan Shotter for that third place, the bronze medal, 22.66 for Ben Ward. Close running, a lot of action. Wind readings, by the way, plus 2.2 metres per second, so those times won't stand. So we're seeing the wind just oscillating between legal and helpful to overly helpful and illegal in terms of record and personal best purposes.
You just saw there a few shots, by the way, as we see the confirmation of those results on the men's 200 metres under 18. Brought to you by Time Out. Very frustrated Liam and Chuck Wolf, who again, he has thrown 16.24, but again he was red flagged and he's challenged. He's really not happy with what he's seen. He's coming across now to have a chat with some more of the officials, but he very frustrated at being called. And again, I had a look at just watching him as he performed, and I thought he appeared to me to be, again, right behind the stop board. Again, we didn't really see it on first look. He's not a happy wee camper now as Trent Hogg is back into the circle. So it's interesting to watch that. We've got some pole vault action coming up as well, courtesy of our good friends at the Hits. Good to see Adam come out here the first morning, break his personal best for 2,000 metres. Well done, son. Nice work.
So there's the start list for the women's pole vault. We've got Amaya Wingfield, Nia Williams, and Hannah Addai coming. So 3 participants in that pole vault. Now they'll be running with a tailwind behind them, blowing them into the mat. And you know, this is, whenever we're talking pole vault and wind, it's one of the trickier events to get right, adjusting for that wind. So we'll see what sort of measure on the bar we're going to open up with. And I think it's 330 that I can see.
So there's big Hanonel. Gets that one out there. Also interesting to note as well, just as we discuss the pole vault, it's also interesting, we've got the men's under 18 long jump, which is about to start, and they have spun around, and so they are going to be again running with that breeze behind them now for the long jump. We saw our under 20 men, led by Angus Liver and company, Quinn Hartley and co, Adam Stack, jumping into what was a very, very slight breeze. And it's interesting to note now that they have spun that long jump around, and they're going to be using the other end. Great to have, as I say, this wonderful facility where You can have your sprinting down the back straight. If you've got the breeze maybe coming in from that particular direction, you can switch around and do your jumps action heading into either direction. You have the ability to switch that one around.
So there was Amaya Wingfield getting her day in the pole vault underway successfully, clearing 3:30 with ease, it looked like. Brilliant start. Now we've got Hannah Addai. And once again, nice and clean. So good, consistent start for these ladies, getting things underway successfully.
There is Liam and Chuck Wolford. Now he's got to just, Liam now's big challenge is he's just got to clear the mine. You can see the frustration. He's had 2 red flags. The first one, when we looked at it again on replay, justification. The second one, we didn't get the chance to get a decent look at it. I just saw it as it happened in real time, and I thought that one might have been a smidge harsher. So, as it stands at the moment, Wolf sitting down the bottom. Trent Hogg with a 13-metre 65 effort. There you go. Nell, 13 metres 5 centimetres. Abbott, 12 metres 90. And Quinn Motley, 12 metres and 3 centimetres. But the NM, no mark against that gentleman there. Frustration. At least he's now able to get a bit of a laugh. Someone making sure that he can see the funny side of it.
And we saw exactly this situation with Tom Walsh, and I'm sure he'll be sort of thinking, oh, it was good watching Tom deal with this on the world stage. Now I'm dealing with it in my own national champs. I'm reigning national champ in this age group, and I want to just get a mark on the board and reclaim that gold medal.
One was that big Shaka Sola just wandering past the back as well, just sort of maybe just adding his voice into the conversation there. At least they've got him smiling as we look back down onto the pole vault area. So just a wee break here. As I said, we've got the under-18 men's long jump coming up. We'll just take a short break just as we get things reset. This is Day 2 action. Jennian Holmes, New Zealand Track and Field action, courtesy of Sky Sport Next.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams. Our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
We know a country where the food is bountiful and the wine is beautiful, where the skies are big because the horizons are wide, so the warm, gentle landscape stretches out forever. It's a country that will refresh you and recharge you and just make you feel a whole lot better about things. This country is food and wine country, but you probably know it as Hawke's Bay.
The Hits Live Free is back. Listen out for the key songs weekdays on The Hits. Hear it, call, and go in the draw to win one of 5 keys that could unlock The Hits Live Free Safe. 1 year, no rent, no mortgage. The Hits.
There you see the shot put circle. And over the course of the weekend, you'll see Jack O'Gill, Tom Walsh, and also Maddie Wishy working in that particular circle. But today it's the final day for the under 18 and under 20 athletes, and we've seen some wonderful performances.
So on screen is Amaya Wingfield from Auckland. We haven't yet seen Mia Williams, so the Cantabrians. I'm just having a scan for a red singlet around, but here we are. Amaya, she went clear at 3:30, first attempt. here's the first attempt at 360. No, just ducks under that one. So that'll be a first up miss at 360. And on screen there is Hannah Addis. So she's your reigning national champ in the under 20 pole vault competition. Looking to reclaim that title, make it 2 years in a row. And she's ranked third in the country all out with a personal best of 370. So this is getting up there for her. Up she goes, takes it down. So definitely a big adjustment being made as we send that bar up another foot or so.
I have to say I can only see the blue singlets of Auckland. I cannot see that Canterbury vest that you are looking for. There's one. He's not pole vaulting.
Yeah,
it's Quinn Hartley out of Canterbury.
It's one of the things, viewers at home, that you will notice. There are more scratchings than usual, and that's just a case of the number of close contacts and household contacts of COVID. So I know of multiple athletes this weekend who have had a last-minute withdrawal. Really sad for those athletes. So thoughts go out to those athletes if you're watching at home. We wish you could be with us, and hopefully we'll be all good for 2023 next year to have everyone back at a full national champs with crowd too.
That's Hannah O'Neill just competing there in the under 20 shot put. It's interesting to see now on the scoring that we have. It has been updated, and Liam and Chuck Wolf is now sitting at the top of the standings. So there was a lot of discussion going on down there. It's a mark of 16.24, 16 metres, 24 centimetres.
Maya in the pole vault. Up she goes. Much better attempt. Throws the legs sky high, but doesn't get the torso up and over. And
so there you see, it just changed with Hannah O'Neill's attempt. We're just waiting for his mark to come through, just sort of slotting into the top. Here is Max Abbott with the best throw of 13 metres, 62, and loses control of that one outside of the sector from Max.
A little bit of a mullet game going on there.
Not even close. It's got to be down to the smaller sort of just down here, in between the shoulder blades.
And I feel like you need a bit more shaved on the top as well. There's got to be that clear contrast. Yeah. It's more the McGyver look, the subtle mullet going on. Okay, Hannah Adjai, over she goes. Does the bar stay up? It doesn't.
We had the best example this morning with my man Lucas Lambert. He's clear winner. You want to see how to do a mullet? Go check out my boy Lucas. That's a good throw. It's a very nice throw, Trent Hogg.
Now, apologies, I was saying that the bar was set at 360. It is at 350. So both Hannah and Amaya had gone clear at 330.
So here's Trent, who's got a best of 365, 13 metres 65, and that one there looks like it's definitely a lot further than that. Just waiting for that to hopefully update for us at the moment. There you see Trent currently sitting in third spot at the moment with that 1365. Stepping in here, Cooper McDowell. Second, 14 metres 43. That's another good one.
It looks solid. So remember, around that 14 metre mark as we go back to Amaya, and that will be her third miss at 350. So she will need to bow out of the competition with a clearance at 330, and it all goes back in the court of the reigning national champ, Hannah Addai. Can she clear 350 and claim the national title, or will we see potentially a jump off? Because we've got our two leaders who both went clear first attempt at 330. Now, can our main man, Liam, sort that heel out, keep it down, and keep the officials happy?
Well, the big thing for Liam is he's just got to try and clear his head and just try and put whatever frustrations he has going through his head and through his body to one side, and just really dial in on getting everything right, because when he does, he's a really good shot putter.
Oh.
Now, that
looked good.
Well, that's I'm interested by that, because that did look very similar to what he got red flagged for the first time we saw him. When you looked at that heel and where it was on the stop board.
Don't we?
Yeah, it is. This is really small margins at the moment, but the white flag has gone up for that one.
Okay, Hannah, last attempt at 350. Over she goes. Clear. She's in. Oh.
No.
I called it too soon. Sorry about that, Hannah. So we have a draw in the women's under-20 pole vault. Both our women went clear at 330. Both missed all 3 attempts at 350. So either they will share the win or they will need to do some sort of jump off. But I can see the poles going down. So they will share the win. So we're handing out 2 golds in the under-20 pole vault.
The gentlemen you see on your screen right now, they are competing in the men's 3,000 steeplechase, under 20 level. Benjamin Rickaby, Luke Clements, and Toby Tasker in the Auckland trifecta. Absolutely confirmed already for this one.
It's not the first time we've had an Auckland trifecta, but finishing a steeplechase is never confirmed. I'll just put that one out there.
That's very true. You did tell. You did.
I've got a 100% record on it, but it's 1 out of 1 really. It doesn't count.
So you see Luke Clements, who we've already seen in action.
Good speed from our leader there, just really attacking the water jump. With a positive attitude.
Well, we have seen him already. And it's for here. I don't know if you caught that coming through the background. That was Hano Nell, who's one of the more vocal competitors in terms of the effort he puts in. Just in terms of just looking beautifully relaxed and rhythmical in his running style. And you know far more about this than I, Hayden Sherman. Luke Clements just looks like he is absolutely, even though we know he is moving very quickly, just looks like he's out for a gentle canter. He's got a lovely relaxed style. Here's Hano.
Yeah, good to see a bit of vocalisation in the throws. I feel like New Zealand's got a great throwing heritage, but I think we can work on the vocals. I feel like the Eastern Europeans tend to have a good vocal game, and I'd like to see a bit of noise coming from throwing circles. It does help it go further. It's scientifically proven.
Yeah, well, Eastern European, no, we're not going to go there. Max Abbott.
All right.
Just waiting for the update with regards to that last throw there of 12.46. So we've got Trent Hogg, who's currently sitting in 3rd spot at the moment with 13.65.
So Luke Clements leading the 3,000 metre steeples. Tucked in behind him is Toby Tasker. They are running very close to each other, and you can see Toby just going a little bit wide to give himself a bit more space, bit more clear runway to attack those barriers nice and cleanly.
And he completed a K. They've got 2 to go.
And a lot of sprint hurdlers often look at the distance runners and their technique. You can see Luke Clements going for more the Kenyan sort of side kick. And, in a sport that is so global and such an established event as the steeplechase, you'd think you would see more refined hurdling technique, but you almost never see it. It's remarkable that the focus is still on that aerobic fitness, on that endurance, and just get over the thing.
Well, it's interesting because right here, that's the technical aspect of the steeplechase, isn't it? It's getting over the water jump.
One foot on, and then lose as little as momentum as possible as you hit that water. But often it's just that efficiency, doing what feels most comfortable. Often you're having to chop your stride a little bit. It's not like the sprint hurdles where you've got a certain number of steps. Ooh. Now back to Liam, our competition leader.
By the way, Trent Hogg there just with I think it was Trent with a 14.85 metre throw. I think it was that last one we saw.
and that's up close to his season's best of 15.02.
Let's get those marks confirmed. May have actually been Cooper McDowell, just as we were concentrating there on our steeplechase athletes.
Let's keep an eye on this heel. Does it stay down? Yeah, they look pretty good to me. I'm going to give it the pass.
Yeah, that one
there, the white flag.
That one there looked better because what you actually saw, you didn't see that heel creep up onto the stop board. And so,
do we call it heel gate? Is this the first controversy?
Look, we're not trying to create any kind of controversy. We are paid though to see. Now there, you saw it never, the heel, even though it flicked up, it never came down and touched the top of that stop board. So 17.81 from
that's
Liam
a personal
Chuckwell.
best. Huge. So 17.81. That's going to add another almost a foot to his best. 17.81 is his previous best coming into this competition was 17.56. He's been dropping PBs in the under-20s and the senior implements all season long, and that's just another to clock up to his season. So great work, Liam, sorting out those technicalities and throwing the best he ever has in his life. Now back to the steeples, still neck and neck with Luke Clements doing all the work up the front, and Toby Tasker just being prepared to ride on his shoulder and keep applying that pressure. Now expect these guys to be running just a tick over 3-minute Ks. So finish time we'd expect to be around 9:30.
Sorry, apologies for that noise. I was actually watching Benjamin Rickaby just going over one of the steeplechase hurdles, and I was very concerned that he was just going to come a cropper there. He just didn't get it right, really stumbled, and I thought he was going to end up with a very, very close-up view of the ground, but thankfully he didn't.
So these two together as they come through the water jump, they'll encounter this, I believe, 2 more times. I think they've got 2 more laps to go. Yep, they do. So two and a bit laps to go. It's still Luke Clements leading Toby Tasker, the Auckland trio, getting it done here in Hastings.
Clements just starting to up it a little bit with 800 to go, or just a touch over 800 to go. There's Benjamin. That's better
nice
technique.
And relaxed, just flowing like water over those water jumps. Wonderful to see. As the action goes back to Luke, who just looks like he's surging a little bit. You can see that arm drive just being a bit more intentional. And like you say, at the start of the race, he was looking smooth and relaxed. He's still looking smooth and relaxed and pulling away. Just nice energy into those barriers. And when you see that sort of intent, the way that he's attacking the barriers and not letting the barriers get the best of him, really shows how he's trying to open up this good lead in the second to last lap. And you can see the technique there. Luke hurdling, good technique. Toby having to tow the barrier. So big gaps here in the 3,000 metre steeples under 20s.
Watching those two clear. Luke comfortably ahead. He'll come down and get the bell this time around. So a very nice throw again from Trent Hogg. The white flag too. Interested to see where this is for Trent. Here it is. Here's our team. Watch the cap go flying. Putting plenty of effort into that one. And yeah, you can see the clap and the fist pump and just a wee check. And it's like, yes, it's a white flag. Good, thank you very much. It's a 15 metres 17 for Trent Hogg.
That's a new PB for Trent Hogg coming in this season with the best of 15.02. So good improvement there. But there on screen is Luke Clements pulling away from Toby Tasker. He's got about 30 metres on him now and looking really strong. He's got a wonderful running style, and really you've got to say he's the sort of athlete that's made for this event where you need to settle into that rhythm after each barrier. Don't mind that just interruption every 80 to 100 metres, and he will have 2 barriers to go, one of them including this curly old water jump. So here he goes last time, and clean as you like, beautiful. He will have 1 barrier to go before claiming a national title. Little check over the shoulder, and let's see how he attacks this last barrier. Will he play it safe? Maybe put the foot on it, No, he hurdles it cleanly, and over he goes. Little sprint to the finish line. That's a national championship in the bag. Points to the fellow athletes, because we've got no crowd here, but that's the gold medal to Luke Clements.
Final throw, Liam and Chuck Wolf. Oh, and it's outside the sector.
And Toby Tasker just coming through for the silver there. And I can tell you about 100 metres back, we've got Benjamin Rickaby has just gone clear over the final wood jump as well, so he's on track for the bronze. So the shot put
all done and dusted. Up. Liam and Chuck Wolf winning. Trent Hogg has actually jumped ahead of Cooper McDowell. We're just waiting for our final results to update, but Trent Hogg dropping a throw of over 15 metres to leapfrog Cooper McDowell of Hawke's Bay Gisborne and claim silver.
Benjamin Rickaby claims bronze in the 3,000 metres under 20 steeples. Joins his teammates for a well-deserved Auckland 1, 2, 3.
You see, that's the official who was red flagging Liam. So now they're actually having, with the competition over, they can have a nice calm conversation about things. There's the confirmation of your results in the under 20 men's 3,000 metre steeplechase. Clemens your winner, Tasker second, Rickaby claiming the bronze.
Do you think Liam's just saying, look, just make the stop board higher and I'm good to go?
Oh, look, I mean, now you can.
I've got big feet.
The emotion is out of it now. As I say, I thought that initial one where Liam got called, I'm on the side of the official. I thought he got that one right. Maybe I see it slightly differently with that second one. Same, there was one there where I thought maybe they could have actually called Liam, but they did not. So, look, we have the hindsight. We have the benefit. Yeah. You have the benefit at home here on Sky Sport Next of watching the replays being provided, the pictures being provided by the great team at the Stream Shop. We've got Daniel getting those replays back and lined up for you. We have that advantage. That official doesn't. It's all done on line of sight. You've got to react based on what you see. You've got to make those instinctive calls. So
and like I said, having this experience of having to iron out those little wrinkles mid-competition is what you need before you go to that world stage, like we saw with Tom Walsh, getting it right, getting into the medals at the Olympics. Like, what an experience for Liam to have to do that here on the home territory. And we've got some of the best officials in the world. We often export these men and women overseas to international competitions. They know what they're doing, and it's great to have this pressure put on our athletes, because it means that they're ready to go overseas.
You just saw those final results. So Liam and Chuck Wolf winning with 17 metres 81. Trent Hogg of Southland claiming silver. Cooper McDowell of Hawke's Bay Gisborne the bronze. Still plenty more to come here on day 2 of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships for 2022. You're watching live via Sky Sport Next.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams.
Our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
The Hits Live Free is back. Listen out for the key songs weekdays on the Hits. Hear it, call, and go in the draw to win one of 5 keys that could unlock the Hits Live Free safe. 1 year, no rent, no mortgage. The Hits.
Clinicians thinks the way your body works is fascinating. Look at what happens when you breathe. Your lungs are constantly bringing in fresh air, catching oxygen to power your body and getting rid of carbon dioxide. But in winter, our lungs may need added support. So we've created Prospan Bronchial Syrup. New Zealand's #1 natural bronchial syrup. It contains a unique ivy leaf extract to soothe the throat and help clear the airways, supporting your whole family's health this winter. Clinicians, keep your body working.
Welcome back. Hawke's Bay Regional Sport Park. Absolute picture. It's a little bit overcast, but it's lovely conditions, and the athletes have been absolutely reveling in these conditions as well.
Yeah, and we've just got one more race to bring you on the track, and that is the under-18 women's 2,000 metre steeplechase. That's coming at 3:15, which is right now. So they just looking around. Yep, they're towing the line and about to get going shortly. So it's been another wonderful day as we round off the coverage of the under-18s and the under-20s at the National Track and Field Champs. And they are off in this 2,000 metre steeples now. I'll quickly run through the start list. We've got Louise Braben of Manawatu, Wanganui. We've got Kennedy Taylor of Southland, Catherine Lund of Otago, Bridie Ristio of Canterbury, Zara Geddes of Otago, and Neve Motley out of Canterbury. So 2,000 metres steeplechase. They'll be jumping 76 centimetre barriers. And, of course, the infamous water jump. Here's the first of those water jumps, and getting a little taste of the water, dipping the toes in, seeing how cool it is. And this is one of the good things about summer athletics. When you want to cool off, steeples seems like a good idea.
I was about to say dipping the toes in. I think you'll find dipping most of the toes, shin, almost up to the knee. Louise Braben, who put in that wonderful effort yesterday, having been clipped, fallen down, clambered over in the 5,000, and then getting up to win a bronze medal, showing some amazing resilience, as we've spoken about. And already...
Yeah, back again to do the same thing, 1K shorter, this time with hurdles to get over. So we've got
That's the long jump, the under-18s men. Kaylin Paranihi was also in action this morning over at the high jump area. William Robinson, Kohi Batterman, Connor Brown, Dale Arbuckle, another one doubling up with the high jump. Forbes Kennedy, Keegan Richardson Miller, Levi Murdoch, who was also a very good performer in the high jump earlier this morning.
So it continues. Louise Braben out the front. Born in 2006, if you can believe it. Does make you feel old when you look at these birth years. But these young ladies off to a good start. Second time over the water jump. How do we get on second time? Pretty good. Most of them going for the two-footed landing. And you'll see as these athletes progress through this event. And often, you know, they don't run this event. You know, you look at the standings so far this summer across senior women, junior women. It's very rarely run. Most of these athletes will concentrate on the flat events and then at nationals jump on into the steeples. So they'll do a few practices, but there's nothing like the heat of competition to learn this craft, the magic dark art of steeplechasing.
Well, I was interested with you hearing your comment there with regards to there's obviously a lot of technique when it comes to the water jump. Is the transferable skill as we head over and have a look at, that's Connor Brown on the long jump. We saw Connor in the discus earlier, white flag goes up. In terms of the hurdling that we see, 110 high hurdles, 110, 400, that sort of a thing, is it a similar technique if they wished to employ, or is it just a case of, look, the goal is make sure you don't, if you're going to come a cropper, you don't want to do it at the water jump. Otherwise, just figure out a way that is good for you, because I love how you described it just moments ago. It's basically a 2K run with some obstacles involved every once in a while. So is it more just a case of just avoid the obstacles the best you can?
Yeah,
or do they work on that technique side? Sorry.
It goes back to the history of this event, how it got its name. So steeplechase. What's this got to do with steeples and chasing? So it was originally goes back to the the old days of harriers, 1800s in England, where you'd run from one steeple, one church in one village to the steeple, one village over, and you'd be jumping over hedges and fences. And so it is that idea, let's just put some stuff in the way and make you go over it. So the fact that they're barriers, I mean, we could go and pull some cars onto the track and make you jump over those and turn it into a parkour. So it is the parkour of athletics effectively. And we see essentially two different types of steeplers. So the traditional East African, who have, let's be honest, the Kenyans have dominated the steeples for the last 30 odd years, typically just attack it by feel. They have that just genuine zest for the sport, and you'll see their legs go out to the side and just kind of clicking the heels on over.
Yeah, they're kind of like a bit like a Fred Astaire or a Gene Kelly type moment, sort of one of those old 1930s musicals.
Popping over it. And then you get the real craftspeople, like the likes of Evan Jager and Emma Coburn, the Americans who have really performed well on the international stages for being non-East Africans. And they're a bit more clinical. They'll do real hurdle training, and they'll learn to be as efficient as possible over those barriers. So there's a few different ways of tackling it. But of course, if you go down that technical route, you need to be prepared to jump off both feet, to hurdle off both feet, and deal with traffic as well, and being able to adjust your style. So that's why a more fluid technique can actually be beneficial in the traffic and the chaos of a steeplechase.
Well, we're coming down. Should be getting the bell this time around. And there you hear it from our official, just to the top left of your screen. So it's Brabant leading at the moment as they clear and head around the top straight. Just little tempo increase. Are you noticing there, Hayden, from Louise?
Yeah, looking good, Louise. She's led the whole way, coming into this with a bronze medal around her neck from the 3,000 metres yesterday. And let's see if Zara can answer, but that glance over the shoulder would suggest maybe she's happy with second.
Well, I don't know. She's starting to up it as well.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting if Louise is just saving a little bit as we have 3 barriers to go. They go successfully over the third to last. They've got that killer last water jump, and this is where it could all be decided. Let's see how Louise attacks this one. Was that almost a little smile on the face saying, I've just got one more of these to go. Successfully over. Now just one barrier to go.
Well, they've both done it very well. We look over the shoulder. Zara not going away. I wonder now if that's just a bit too much of distance to try and pull back. And you would say so. Really attacks the final barrier. Little stumble. She's kept her feet underneath there. She tumbled yesterday and won bronze. She keeps her feet underneath her today, and she's running away. Gold medal in the steeplechase over 2,000 metres. Louise Brabant of Manawatu Wanganui. Arageti's coming through in second, and it's another Otago athlete.
Yeah,
that's Catherine Lund coming through for the bronze.
Oh, great scenes in the steeplechase. And that last barrier, I tell you what, you often see it. They look so good over all the other barriers, and then that mental aspect, the acidosis in the legs, that heaviness, and all sorts of things can go wrong in that last barrier. And we've seen it many times before on the international stage. Things all fall to pieces in that last barrier, but not for this young lady. Over she goes, claims the national title, and she looks very happy, and so she should be.
Yeah, it's
well-deserved national title to go with her bronze.
Great images there caught for us. Interesting as well, I was just watching Bridie Restio come over the line just to complete the field. 7 minutes 45 or thereabouts. 7:45 for 2 kilometres without the obstructions. There'd be a lot of people who'd be more than happy with that there. And just again, just another reminder of just how talented some of these athletes are. They wander off. You can see as we look over to the under-18 long jump. As I said, we've got the likes of Dale Arbuckle, Levi Murdoch, Kalen Paranihi, who we've seen in action at the high jump this morning. You've got Connor Brown, who we've seen twirling around in the discus earlier on. We've still got some more throws to come this afternoon. We've got the under-18 women's shot put, and we've also got the men's discus. And that men's discus, we'll see a few people we've already seen today. We'll see Max Abbott, we'll see Trent Hogg, we'll see Quinn Hartley, Hunno Nell, Ben Skelton jumps into the mix as well. Only folks we don't see from the shot put are Cooper McDowell, Cooper McDougall, I should say, and Liam and Chuck Wolf. Here we see Dale Arbuckle. So he was put in a very creditable performance this morning in the high jump.
Got the compression stocking on one leg, so maybe a little calf issue going on there, or maybe that's his jumping foot and he just wants to protect it as much as possible. On the runway now, getting things going with that tailwind, and it's not one to end in the highlights reel.
He knew straight away, as soon as he planted, he knew he'd gone too far and just didn't carry through with the remainder of the technical aspects of the jump. Just decided to pull out. He knew he'd overstepped. And so that was a shrewd decision.
So this is Forbes Kennedy. So he has the best PB of all these men in the under-18s long jump, coming in with a 6.74, but it's close in terms of PB. Levi Murdoch's got a 6.65 to his name, and then Kalen Paranihi has a 6.69. So expect the win to be somewhere up in the mid to high sixes today. Certainly with that gentle tailwind blowing them into the board, we should see some big numbers heading up into those high six ranges.
Yeah, well, just if you're watching this morning, you'll already have noticed that they have actually turned the long jump around. You saw the under 20. It was Angus Liver and Adam Stack and company. Quinn Hartley jumping the opposite direction, but they have spun it around, and that breeze is getting quite steady, actually. I've just been watching the windsocks over there, the yellow and black, and sort of at the moment they're sort of fluttering pretty consistently at around about a 30-degree angle, so there's plenty of breeze pushing into them as we watch Forbes Kennedy. Head down. Powering in, attacking, great extension through.
Oh, I like that. Looking good to start off the competition. Good speed.
It's very, we saw that from Adam Stack, how he really sort of drove hard. See the medals being handed out. It's Connor Brown, you say, in the discus. He's finished third. He's got a long jump competition he's got to trundle over for once he gets that gold medal. Let's see. There's Blessing Sifel, the gold medalist. It was a really good competition. As we head back and see Keegan Richardson Miller preparing. Hangs, tries to extend but just overstepped. Then you see an indication there with the breeze with that flag as well, and you can see there's those wind vanes just as they come back in.
So expect to see quite a few fouls early on in the competition as these boys just try and get that run up right. You can see their markers just on the runway, so that's the mark that they would have practiced all season long back at wherever they do their training. Maybe Napunawai there for Levi Murdoch.
Also, the wind won't be an issue because we know it can get quite breezy at Napunawai as well, so I'm sure he would have, well, I'm being quite serious here. I'm sure that he's actually probably experienced this, so he'll probably be someone who's a bit breezy. He's going, okay, look, I've dealt with this before if I need to, so that's not a biggie to me.
One of the challenging aspects of the long jump is you often won't do your full run-up that often in training, and it's often only when you get to competition that you'll run off the full run-up. So just those small adjustments, but Yeah, like you say, the ITM meet last weekend down in Christchurch. Really, I mean, you were there for the cricket. You'd know all about how that day was on Saturday. Poor Christchurch has really timed the weather quite poor with the key meets for athletics in recent years.
Well, I mean, it's just a really interesting, it's a really different climate because it is obviously, look, the South Island, we know we've got that wonderful mountain range going right through the middle of it, and that obviously can create some different aspects. And I've tried to understand it. I've got a lot of very good friends who live down in Christchurch, and they've tried to explain to me as we get ready for the Discus, presented by the good team at Apple Press. There you see the field we were just talking about before: Trent Hogg, Ben Skelton, Quinn Hartley, Max Abbott, and Hano Nell.
The problem is us North Islanders just don't understand how it can be 30 one day, 13
that's
the
the
next.
thing. It is. It's very much its own very unique system. And you know, talking with, as I said, I was part of the commentary team, and we had some locals in there, and they're telling me about the northwestern arch and all about how look, the wind's coming round to this direction, so make sure you pack an extra layer tomorrow. Well, the wind's going that way. Okay, it's going to be a bit warmer, and just really getting the understanding of how those different things affect. Bring it back to what we're looking at now here, the New Zealand Track and Field Championships. What I suggest that would mean is that the athletes from Canterbury in particular would train in a variety of conditions. So they would have the situation where they have got the wind behind them. But if you're a coach, you can also turn around and go, because it's a great facility there, tell you what, we're actually going to spin you around. You're going to go into the breeze, get you used to that. So that variance of weather condition can actually be, in my opinion, quite a significant advantage for Canterbury athletes when they come to the likes of a national championships, because they have probably so many opportunities to experience different nuances in terms of the possible weather they could face at these events.
Yes, we see Quinn Hartley coming to the discus circle. And then you go to this discussion around our Otago athletes training out of Dunedin. And I had a chat to Shay Veach, our reigning national senior long jump champion and reigning 100-metre champion. And he was saying that he's often there in the winter down at the track, and there's ice on the track, and it doesn't melt even by 4 p.m. in the afternoon because it's in shade. So all these different challenges as we head back to the long jump.
That's Colin Paranihi.
Tentative white flag. There it is.
Finally, it goes up. There he goes. Just give it a flick.
He gets out of the sand successfully.
Well, that looked like a really good jump. We're just struggling to see some of these marks just come through at the moment. As I say, there is multiple connections and everything sort of popping through. So there we go. We got that one. That's 6 metres 51 for Colin Paranihi, that last jump that you saw. And this is Max Abbott as he sends one out. And he gets the white flag as well. So Max Abbott of Wellington. So having a look, that was a very nice throw for Max. Waiting for that number hopefully to come through for us. It was William Robertson.
Here's Hano now back from the shot put, moves over to the discus circle. Busy boy today. Here he goes. Gets those lungs working, gets those arms and legs working, but draws the red flag on that one.
Yeah, just out of the sector for Hano, of course, who also was involved in the hammer throw yesterday as well. You see Trent Hogg, who a really good final throw, jumped his way up into the silver medal position in the shot put we saw earlier. This is Cohen Batteram of Hawke's Bay Gisborne. And you see Trent. Implement is returned. Max Abbott, by the way, throwing 48 metres there with his first throw, so Max into the early lead. 5 metres 64 for Connor Batteram.
Susanna Kennelly in the shot put. It's the women's under 18 shot put. So they'll be throwing the 3 kg implement. So the senior women throw the 4 kg and the under 18s with the 3 kg.
Go back there is Connor Brown, having just received his bronze medal for the discus. That young lady there is Carly Shep of Southland. Behind her, you can see Michaela Sola, excuse me. Sitting, waiting, finding that measurement coming through for Connor Brown. Also as well, waiting for the first measurement to come through from the shot put. It's a race to see which measurement comes through first at the moment. Time. Go back, that's Dale Arbuckle. 5 metres 90 for Connor Brown, 5 metres 90. 13 metres 74 for Susanna Keneally.
All right, Quinn Motley, here we go, winding up in the discus circle. Flying that one out into this Hawke's Bay northeasterly sea breeze.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's got it in, but only just counts. So that's nice work. Ran that one right down the right-hand side of the throwing arc. Wait for that to come through. There's some of our wonderful support staff.
Yeah,
Quinn, 39.66.
A lot of these volunteers are local athletes from the Hawke's Bay Gisborne athletics community. So great to see them all contributing to the sport in another way other than just running and throwing and jumping.
It was really nice, actually, the security guard who was at the gate where all the athletes were coming through, and the volunteers and Athletics New Zealand support staff. As we see Max Abbott go again. One gentleman was coming through and he had his daughter with him, and she said, I'm competing yesterday. Go, not competing today. She goes, no, she's coming back today to help as a volunteer. And the security guard, very nice, is saying, well done to you. Good on you.
Cool.
Nice. I thought that was very nice of that gentleman who was doing a great job down there for us. So we'll see what that distance is for Max Abbott, who opened with 48 metres. That's Michaela Sola, who you've just seen throw in the shot put. 48.75 for Max. Here's Kennedy Forbes, current leader at the moment in that long jump.
Yeah, I really love the look of Kennedy on the runway. Comes to the sport with lots of speed, really attacks the board. And then really controls that movement of the body through the air, avoiding that forwards rotation that you get when your feet hit the board.
Just waiting for that time, that distance to come up. We saw Hano Nell there. 6 metres 52 for Forbes Kennedy. Maintains first place at the moment in the men's under-18 long jump. Hano Nell just waiting for his throw to be measured. And I think that just came through for us. 37.22 for Hano.
Losse in the shot put there. Getting out around just a tick over 12 metres, I'd say, from my angle.
There's Trent Hogg. Again,
the hat goes flying. Love it.
I just wonder whether maybe you could just bring the hat, just bring that in just one notch, maybe. Maybe then it wouldn't go flying off on a regular basis. Losalenia with a 12 metre 19 throw in the shot put as Chita Skelton Whangava steps in. So Keegan Richardson Miller, by the way, has just left 6 metres 14 in the long jump, 6.14. Here is Levi Murdoch, currently in 4th spot at the moment. There's going to be sort of late 5s, white flag. Cheetah Jane Skelton hung over with 11 metres, 9 centimetres for her throw that you saw a few moments ago. There's Ben Skelton. Steps out, he's got the red flag for that one. That is Susanna Keneally. So we look over to see what that measurement is. Currently sitting in first place. And she doesn't look overly impressed with what you were seeing there. She does have the advantage at the moment.
With the personal best of 15.22, which puts her in the lead. So in terms of personal best, next behind her is Kate Haley, who's yet to put a mark on.
That throw was 14 metres, by the way. There's Quinn Motley again. The Motley family well represented. Waller as well, doing some good work in the throwing events across all the different disciplines. Here's Quinn. Currently sitting in third spot at the moment. Here's your leader, Max Abbott. Just improves as well. Quinn Motley there, 41 metres, 11 centimetres. So found another 70 centimetres from his earlier throw as Quinn.
So Max Abbott, reigning champion in this event, definitely prefers the discus. Well, I shouldn't put words into his mouth. Probably more successful in the discus over his other throwing events. Not particularly happy with that one.
Not very happy. It's still probably going to be around mid-40s. They are, though, throwing into, as I say, what is still now a consistent breeze. Michaela Sola currently sitting in third at the moment. Just lost control of that one. Okay, it's nicely sorted. It's just for indication only, so they can pop that back in there. So her mark of 12 metres, 32 centimetres, still good enough for Michaela to be sitting in third spot at the moment.
Carmen Elizabeth Moritz, just 13 years of age, but coming in with a great PB of 13.51.
13,
the 3 kg implement.
Well, she's thrown 13.51, and I reckon that one there could be a new personal best, because that looks like it's given 14 a heck of a nudge to me.
Only 13 years of age. This is
again hard to get that
incredible.
Angle though. 3 kilogram shot.
The angle that we're looking at exaggerates the distance just slightly, so you could probably take half a metre off.
I'm just looking at that particular mark.
Oh,
quite half, 13.72, 13 metres 72. So still
PB.
Second spot at the moment, but another personal best. Here's Big Hano coming in.
Listen for the roar. Silent. Interesting.
It's a good
change of technique. Stays in.
So, as it stands at the moment, there you go. That's through the first 3 sets of throws. Max Abbott with the advantage. Trent Hogg, though, not far behind. Quinn Motley and Ben Skelton, Arno Nell all within a metre and a bit of each other.
So that's a big personal best for Trent Hogg. His best coming into this was 43.66, so he's having the time of his life in the discus circle.
As we go over there, that's the long jump. Men's under 18 long jump.
Susanna Kennelly using that glide technique. Sort of almost a little two-step across the circle.
Yeah, this one a little closer to the side, so that margin of error in terms of us trying to establish what distance she may have thrown. Brought down a little bit. That'll be around sort of again. There you go, 14 metres 42 for Susanna Kennelly. There's Hano. Had the sound on for him this time for you, Hayden.
Thank you, Hano. Much appreciated.
I'll tell you what, that's quite a good throw. That's going to be, again, he's currently got a throw of 39.70. I reckon that one there's probably could be in and around that mark, maybe touching the 40.
As we saw William Robertson.
Oh, no, actually just a little bit short of that, sorry. So we bounce around.
Ben Skelton coming up to the discus circle, sorting out the hair for the photos. Winding up. Little reset needed.
Sitting in fourth place, Ben, but he's only 10 centimetres out of... I was going to say he was 10 centimetres out of third, currently held by Quinn Hartley. I'd say that one there might have pushed him a little bit further up the rankings, at least maybe by one. So, Skelton. Wait for that mark to come through. There we go, and he is. He's jumped up to third, 43 metres 82 for Ben Skelton. That's pushed Ben Motley down. As we have,
this is the
4x400.
Yep, 4x400. This is the under 18s 4x400. So we've got Hawke's Bay Gisborne on the inside. Manawatu Wanganui will be running in lane 3. Waikato Bay of Plenty in lane 4. Canterbury in lane 5. Waikato Bay of Plenty A in lane 6. And Auckland in lane 7. You can see out there on the left.
Continue to focus in there. You can see out nice and wide that Auckland team.
Yeah, I believe that's Maddie Kelso Heap. So they run in the 4x400 lanes. Now, when they come up to the change, it'll almost be like the 800 metres. So they'll have 100 metres in lanes, and then they merge and they run together. And that's the really exciting part of any sprint race. So it looks like Auckland will change first. Maddie Kelso Heap handing off to Lucy Sheenan. So Auckland with a good lead at the moment in these early stages of the women's under 18 4x4.
Oh, you can hear that the noise is ramped up as well, because obviously they've got the teammates standing down by the start-finish line. So we see Michaela Sola, who's currently sitting in third place at the moment. There you see they're out of the stagger now.
Yeah, Canterbury sitting in second, just leading that chase pack, but Auckland really pulling away. This is a great first legs 1 and 2 from that Auckland A team, with Maddie Kelso Heap leading them out, then Lucy Sheenan. Next to come will be Kate Borton. These are assuming that we haven't had any changes of orders, but at the moment it's Auckland by about 40 or 50 metres back to Canterbury, and then Manawatu Wanganui sitting in third place. Can they hold on to that third place position?
Well, you'd think if Auckland can hand this one over to Emily Fairclough, that's going to be a really good opportunity for them, because we know that she's in very good form. As Kate Borton works her way down the back straight, and she's got an advantage of at least 40 metres at the moment.
And we did talk earlier in the afternoon about, I can't wait to see this under 18 women's 4x4 team, and here we are, we're seeing it on display. So great running from Auckland at the moment. They've got 500 metres left to run, and they've got 70 metres lead on Canterbury in second place, and then just about 3 or 4 metres back to Manawatu Wanganui, who are always good at the 4x4. They always put it together, a great team for this event.
Yeah, well, they'll be anchored back home by Kimberly Walsh. But there you hand it over to Emily Fairclough, who's in really good running form at the moment. I think the big battle is going to be for second, and it's Manawatu Wanganui, who actually make the better baton change as well. They got that one away to Walsh. There you see Fairclough.
Yeah,
you ain't stopping her. That's a beautiful running technique.
Yeah, beautiful compact running. Good leg turnover as well. She's just eating up the track. Look at her just disappearing off into the distance from the chasing pack. And Manawatu Wanganui running a really good leg here with Kimberly Walsh. solidifying their position in second place. So at the moment it's Auckland 1, Manawatu Wanganui 2, Canterbury 3. Can they hang on to claim that medal?
Well, how much is in the legs of Kimberly Walsh? Because Canterbury just closing ever so slightly. Here comes Fairclough. Dominant performance by Auckland. Easing down. Good time as well. 3:51. Walsh is going to comfortably bring Manawatu Wanganui through in second spot, and Canterbury in third. Always hard to keep the Cantabs out of the medals when it comes to a team event.
Great to see the two Waikato Bay of Plenty teams almost neck and neck. So that suggests there were some tough selection decisions to sort those two teams out, and then rounding things off is our local Hawke's Bay Gisborne. So this is always a fun time of the weekend. The 4x4, this is where you've got tired bodies, very tired athletes who have run multiple events, and then they get that shoulder tap. Can we have you, please, for the 4x4?
And it's always interesting as well just who pops up. I think you may remember last year, obviously we were enjoying the work of Hamish Kerr at the high jump, and next minute, lo and behold, who's running? I think it was League 2. H. Kerr for Canterbury, and cranking out a very nice time as well too with those long levers.
Absolutely. It's amazing to see the versatility of these athletes, and what a testament to think, you know, he's one of the best high jumpers in the world, and he can drop a good 400.
Well, he could
probably beat me in a 5K.
I was going to say, you talk about, there's a good jump again by Kennedy Forbes. I mean, it's all part of the training, whilst we obviously associate them with the likes of the leaping elements. They're still doing the likes of their standard, cardio sort of training as well. So they probably do the odd sort of, 200, do the old sprints every once in a while, do the laps, have a pause, do the laps, have a pause again, just trying to get all that sort of stuff up and rolling with them. You know that better than I by far.
Absolutely. And look, the run-up to the high jump is not talked about enough. It's only 12 or so steps, but it's all important, because yes, you need to jump high, but you also need that speed, and to convert that speed over into vertical movement, as we see Max just fouling that one out. Did he? No. Got the white flag. I thought he had stepped over the line on that one, but nevertheless.
That one there we saw.
These athletes doing a good job at cleaning out those measuring markers.
Yeah, there was Chita Jane Skelton Whangaava, who really wasn't happy with that throw. You could see the look on her face. Here's Carly Sherp of Southland, currently sitting in 6th spot at the moment. Best throw of 12 metres 14 for Carly. There, down the middle. I say 12-14. I wonder whether there might be a small improvement there. Here's Hanonel. There again, just walks out the front. Knows it's not going to be improvement on his 39.70 that he currently has. Carly Sherp, 12 metres 11. Here's Kate Howley. Pushes that one.
And if you have just tuned into the coverage and you're wondering where are the senior athletes, so the news is how we've had to arrange the weekend in order to fit through the COVID guidelines is that we've split the national champs to under 20s and under 18s on Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday is your seniors and your para athletes. So that's the way it's structured, because usually this time on a Friday night at national champs, it's really heating up with the 100-metre finals and the 5K and the shot put. So that will all be coming up on Saturday and Sunday. So book time on the couch to get amongst this action, because it's plenty still to come from here at Mitre 10 Park in Hastings at the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Champs.
If you haven't heard the news as well, one of the reasons why you might want to book some time tomorrow, Eddie Osai Nketia has made his way over from Australia. We weren't sure whether Eddie was going to be able to make the trip, and obviously then the borders opened up and the opportunity to get Eddie over, who's been running pretty well in Australia too. Yep. So what that straight away has set up is the reigniting of the very friendly but ultra competitive rivalry between Tian Velpton and Idiosai Nkitia as we watch Michaela Sola. Just cutting back across there, that was William Robertson. Red flag up there for William though. So here is Michaela, just outside the medals at the moment. She's listed as in 4th spot.
And while we're on the topic of events to come this weekend and looking at the shot put, Madison Weshi will be the hot favourite in the women's shot put, with Valerie Adams, the queen of New Zealand throwing, the queen of New Zealand athletics, queen of New Zealand sport, maybe the GOAT anyway, has officially hung up her boots in the shot put, and sad to see her go, but you know, very cool to leave it in the safe hands of Madison Weshi coming through to take up the baton and carry on the sport. So I'm looking forward to that. Also in the discus, I'm really excited to see Connor Bell open up his season. He's a big prospect for international level discus throwing. Yes. So he'll be one to watch this weekend as well.
There's Levi Murdoch currently sitting 3rd spot. As we go back to Max Abbott. Ooh.
Current competition leader.
48. He's looking at that one. Really hasn't sort of got the disc sort of flying the way he would really like it to. Steering that one down. That is your leader, Susanna Canelli. Waiting for that mark to come through. 14 metres 44. So 14.44. I think we are now moving into the final round of throws in this event.
Cheetah Jane Skelton Whangaava.
11.37 so far. Max Abbott 48.75. And that is going to be enough for Max Abbott to claim the under-20 men's discus title for 2022 here at the Jenny Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championships. Max Abbott from Trent Hogg of Southland and Ben Skelton of Auckland claiming bronze. Quinn Motley throwing 41.11, and Hano Nell, who's, I think, should be very happy, even though he hasn't been able to gain a medal. Hano, he's had good outings in the shot, the discus and the hammer.
Carly Sherp there from Southland as we head back to Kaylin Paranihi.
Wait, there's the white flag. Very flamboyant delivery that time by our official.
I do like the dramatic pause. And
I wonder if he was a former long jumper himself who maybe had an official who used to do that to him. Just sharing it along.
Wait that extra split second.
You see the ladies there just waiting for a medal ceremony. There's another one of the...
Yeah, there's the under-20 pole vault.
We've got the 4x400 metre relay on the track at the moment, just waiting for this number to hopefully come through for Kaylin Paranihi. As I say, Kaylin currently sitting in 2nd spot at the moment in that particular event. Just waiting for Kennedy Forbes, who's on the runway. Let's see if that mark comes through for us. See, Caleb. Here's Forbes. So as they come down to complete the first lap we watch for the relay, we continue to watch Kennedy Forbes at the top of his mark. Nothing coming through so far. He's on the way. Oh, it's another good jump.
Yeah, he's really looking good.
A little concerned there. He just sort of grabbed his leg there for a bit. I hope that's nothing serious. That's an Inalose. So Losse at the moment in 5th spot, wanting to try and improve. Push her way up into medal contention. She doesn't have to improve by much. Bronze currently held with a throw of 12 metres 63. It's quite tight between Haley, Sola and Losse. Wait for two. You see. There's Michaela Sola. 12:32 for Losse. Now Michaela Sola. Here we see Carmen Elizabeth Minutes there. Sitting in second spot at the moment, using the spin technique. And it's going to be in and around. She's got a mark at the moment currently of 13.72. You see some of the athletes. There is Selena Losse. Carly Sherp just sitting there waiting. Losse. No throw. We're just waiting for a few of these scores just to roll through. Here is your leader. So Michaela Saul has actually moved up, improved her mark. 13.47. Back over, there's another foul jump. Just waiting for things to just roll through at the shot put. And you see your leader, Susanna Canelli. It is really just a nice little two-step shuffle, but she's got great explosion and extension through. That's another very good throw. Here's the lead at the moment. 14.08 that throw from Canelli.
Yeah, it's quite impressive to see how far she is managing to get that shot out. You know, you can only imagine once she really develops that power from squats and you know, those Olympic lifts in the gym, that will just, that raw power that she's got will translate to more momentum across that circle. So we see a good hang technique there in the long jump.
William Robinson from Southland. Here's Carly Sherp, also from down south. White flag. See if she's able to improve her distance. Currently sitting in 6th spot at the moment. Carly need to improve by about a metre to get herself up into middle. Well, there we go. A little bit of improvement from Carly as we wait here for Levi Murdoch. Carly with a 12.21. So that improves on her 12.14 by 7 centimetres. Here is Murdoch.
So we're the best coming into this competition of 6.65. Getting those arms pumping. And going through that hitch kick motion through the air. Really trying to each out every little centimetre. Doesn't look overly happy with that, but you never know with these jumpers. And there's the medalist in the under 20 pole vault. So we must have missed Nia Williams and there on the right. So she must have been competing earlier in the competition before we picked up the coverage from that women's pole vault competition. So apologies to Nia that we didn't mention her earlier.
Weight here. Keegan Richardson Miller. Slight delay getting some of these distances coming through from the long jump. We do apologise for that. So let's go well down the shot put. See Michaela Sola found her last throw. Here's Carmen Elizabeth Moritz. Yeah, You just saw her toe just again go up onto the top of the stop board there. So just walked out the side. Frustrating, still sitting in third spot at the moment. Auckland very much to the fore. You just saw Susan Keneally. That there is Kaylin Paranihi. Here's Susanna. Skip, skip, bang. There's actually a real, oh, she's actually gone over the front. I was going to say there is actually just like a real nice rhythm to it.
Yeah, so typically you'll see, right-handed thrower almost do a single leg jump backwards with that right foot. So that right foot will start at the edge of the circle, it'll move through to the middle of the circle, and then you'll push onto that left foot and from there pivot off and do that half turn. But yeah, for Susanna, it's a slightly different technique where it's a couple of little steps back, and I imagine that's just to boost momentum. And it makes sense when you're younger to really focus on speed.
Still really does get some good explosion out and through. There is Kaylin Paranihi.
And there's the medalist from the 200 metres.
Well, what a day for KL Colette. Set not one but two marks of
I wonder what's
qualification for the under 20s. And remember, that's an under 18 athlete you just saw receiving that medal. A very quick time.
So Forbes Kennedy here, head down, up into his work now, and that one won't count. A little grasp of the hammy, looks uncomfortable.
Well, I did notice that on one of his...
end of his weekend, definitely grabs it, says, nah, that was not worth risking.
Well, we saw him on the previous jump. He sort of got to the end and he did sort of grab it, and I wasn't sure whether he'd maybe clipped it or something, just the way he fell, but I think that really shows there's maybe something a smidgen more significant there. I don't think it's actually stopped them, though, from claiming top spot in that particular competition. We're just waiting for all of our...
And this was the Steeple Chase.
Just waiting for all the computers just to update and try and finish off some of those results for us. We are closing towards the end of our coverage for today. Reminder, we've been watching the under-18s and under-20s for the last 2 days here at the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships. Tomorrow, that's going to be, having seen some of your future stars of track and field in New Zealand, tomorrow we get to really enjoy more emerging stars, but some of our more established stars. We get to see the likes of Zoe Hobbs, Idiosai Nketiah and Tian doing what they do well, which is move very, very fast. Over the course of the weekend, you'll see our leading exponents in the field as well. Hamish Kerr, Tom Walsh, Jack O'Gill, Madison Wishy. They're all going to be in action as well.
And I have to do a shout out to the distance runners as well. Look, we've got Sam Tanner against Julian Oakley in the 1500. We've got Laura Nagel versus the rest in the women's 1500. And then we've got triathlete Hayden Wild coming on in to see if he can reclaim his 5,000 metre title. And there'll be a few runners who will want to say something about that as well, I'm sure. So lots to come for this weekend.
So 2 days, we're at the halfway point. Wonderful to see the extraordinary talent coming through, wonderful potential in New Zealand track and field as highlighted by these under 18 and under 20 athletes. Tomorrow it's the seniors, and let's not forget our outstanding para athletes as well. As Leon Inchuk-Wolf prepares to get his gold medal in the shot put, we will leave you here from the Hawke's Bay Sports Park. We will see you tomorrow morning 5 minutes to 9 for day 3 coverage of the 2022 Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championship. Until then, mate wa.